note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode with me, Gisela K. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today we continue to look at the case of Kyron Horman. This case is from June 4th, 2010. You heard that right. 13 years unsolved, but so much progress being made every year. And if you've been following along from the first day that I've been talking about this case, and we're still going to be doing multiple live streams and episodes on this case, then I hope that you are up to speed with everything. If you're not, please check the links in the description box, because there I've said watch part 1 here. This is where we read through all of the stepmother's text messages, okay, and those I will show snippets of today, but we're not going to read through all of it because it's a lot worse than one might think. It's terrible, actually. So anyway, we did that yesterday on a members only stream, but check it out if you want to. Dr. Edward Moskowitz says, thank you, Gisela, very professional. Thank you so much. And also, welcome to, before I get started. So check the links if you're not caught up, okay? We're going to quickly recap and then dive into the next lot of information, right? And then welcome to all my moderators. Thank you so much for everything you do. Welcome to all my patrons. Thank you for your support. I shared a forest video, a walk video there for you today, so I hope you saw that. Welcome to all my members. Hope you enjoyed the members only stream yesterday. And also welcome to all my subscribers and also to Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. Welcome to the stream as well. And thank you so much for all the information that you share to help me have the best credible sources possible to put this information together. So I know that yesterday's live stream, it's a little long, these episodes, but there's so much information. So make sure that you check the pinned comment or the description box or hover over the video, because I timestamp everything for you. So you could literally look at the chapters I've made and say, you know, when did Kyron go missing? Who is the stepmother? Who's who? What happened? What about this? I've chaptered it out for you, okay, to make it really easy to navigate through longer streams. So you shouldn't worry about that. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to all the new subscribers as well. So let's get started. I've got this little frog emoji, members-only emoji that I made, and we are sharing that in honor of Kyron Horman, and I hope you know why. Do you know why, you guys? Pop quiz. Or you can share a combination of green and red hearts if you want, because, here's the answer, Kyron Horman's science fair project was about red-eyed tree frogs, and the last photo ever seen of him was on that day on June 4th, 2010, standing in front of that project, right? So if you share red and green hearts and little frogs, that also works. Otherwise, if you're a member, you can use this emoji that I've made for you as well. Why do we do that? To show solidarity, to show support. If the family is watching, which they often are, or law enforcement, or the district attorneys, or whatever it is, they could see we're all here together and we're here for Kyron. So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, I'm going to take that off now because I need to put my presentation on. So here it is. Okay. So remember this from yesterday? Okay. Where is Kyron Horman? This photo was taken on June 4th, 2010, and it was the last photo ever taken of Kyron, taken by the last person that ever saw him, and that was his stepmother. So while we are not here, we want neutral coverage. It's very difficult in this case because it seems like all roads that are paved red they lead to the stepmother, but we keep an open mind. We look at all the information possible. Please share your comments below as you did in the previous video as well. I really like reading your comments. Thank you to all the patrons as well for all your comments that you've made on what I asked you today as well. And so let's get started, right? I'm just quickly going to show you who's who, just for those of you who aren't too sure. So just the first 3 slides from yesterday, then we're going to go on, right? So just a background, right? Desiree and Kyron Horman are Kyron's biological parents. They got married in 2000, and Kyron was born on September 9th, 2002 in Portland, Oregon. And then 8 months later, his parents got divorced. They'd been granted shared custody of Kyron until 2004, but due to due to medical problems, Desiree went to Canada for some time with the agreement that she would have shared custody again when she comes back. So that is that. Now I just want to show you this picture just so you can refresh your memory of who's who. So if you look at the blended family, okay, we've got Tony Young, Kyron's stepdad. He is a retired detective. He was a detective with the Medford County Police Department. And so he also kept DNA and fingerprint kits of the kids in a safe at home, which is very smart as well. And I'm sure it could have helped. I'm sure it does help. You know, we don't know all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, but in this case as well. And that would be Kyron's stepdad, right? And that's his mom's third husband. Desiree Young is his mom, Kyron's mom. She was a payroll manager at Lithia Motors in Medford. And she also has a son from her first marriage, a guy named Gary. So there was Gary, Kane, and then Tony, right? So there's a half brother that Kyron has there. So just to refresh yourself, because I'm going to be talking about, you know, I'll say stepdad, stepmom, mom, dad, and then you'll know. You've got a visual, okay? Kyron Horman is Kyron's dad, and he's an Intel engineer. And then we've got Terri Hormon, Kyron's stepmom. I wrote there bachelor's in, she had a bachelor's in education. She got 2 jobs as a substitute teacher. And Kyron also has a half sister because Kane and Terri had a daughter together, but the daughter is living with Kane, and I hope you remember why. And then there's also Terri's son from her first marriage. And so Kyron, as you can see, has got a half brother, he's got a half sister, he's got another stepbrother. So blended family, right? Air S. I hope you'll watch yesterday's episode. This is not correct. It was actually Terri herself that kicked him out. And there's a clip of him saying it himself, as in the son, on Facebook, saying Terri kicked him out. She likes to shift blame and deflect. It just is what it is, okay? So now that you know that, we've gone through a detailed timeline yesterday, right? We went through all of this yesterday. Look at Kyron. He was so organized. Already doing his own laundry, cleaning the house. For those of you who wonder, where does the investigation stand now? Kyron's disappearance continues to have a profound impact on our community. The case remains open and active. Investigators are using advances in software, digital forensics, and geospatial technology to support and advance their work. In collaboration with our major crimes team partners, the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office and the FBI detectives are pursuing all legitimate investigative leads and will continue to do so until Kyron is located. So that's what they said. That's one of the most recent statements, that it is still active, ongoing. They're still searching. So yes, he was 7 years old. 7 years old, which means he would be 20 now. So you can see on the photo there, they do have age progression photos that they share every couple of years. So we do have that as well. If you have some questions, feel free to ask there as well. I will check them as well later, because I'm sure I can't get to all of them. But also do check out yesterday's live stream. Go through those chapters where you've got questions, because we went through so much stuff yesterday. So this is everything we went through, a detailed timeline, right? All of this. So you need to go check it out. And about the truck and everything. It's going to make more sense for today's episode if you watch the first one. But stay here with us now. And then you can watch that one and it'll make more sense. Okay, so I'm just trying to find my beginning slide here from today, sorry. Okay, there we go. So, you see A. Heinemann setting the example. I rewatched yesterday's episode to make sure I knew the facts for today. I'm prepared for G. You did your homework. Thank you so much. Sometimes here at Grizzly True Crime, we get homework. Yes. So, okay, let's go with this, right? June 4th, 2010. Now, what I first put there is that there was a billboard outside. So today we're going to go through plausible scenarios, and we're also going to look at who is Terri. She's had various surnames, of course. Birth surname, she was adopted, then she got married 4 times. So she's changed her surname a lot, and she's even asked the judge to change her surname twice, which she denied after Kyron's disappearance. But the point is, okay, we'll get there, but we're going to go through plausible scenarios and who Terri is. And then tomorrow we have another stream, okay? Because there is so much to discuss in this case. Thank you so much. Brian says, Grizzly to Crime. First time watching the channel, subbed and liked. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And yes, before I dive in, please like this episode. Share it as well. It helps when you do it in the beginning and also at the end if you share it again, because then others who aren't aware of this case, they can join our community, and together we can just be the Grizzly Gatorade, as I said yesterday, which is just, let's show the family lots of support. They have run a very long marathon and they're still running it. 13 years, never giving up, and they never will give up. Okay, so there was a billboard outside of the school this day because it was the science fair. And on the Thursday, June the 4th is a Friday when Kyron was last seen on a Friday. On the Thursday, Terri, the stepmother, had taken him to school in her husband's truck, Kane's truck, because she was going to help him, take this project to school. That happened on Thursday. But on Friday, she again took him in the truck, which wasn't really necessary. He could have gone on the bus that day, but she took him. Now, keep in mind that there was a billboard that said June 4th, IB Inquiry Expo, 8 to 10, talent show, 1 to 2:45. Kyron was going to take part in that talent show as well. So, I've just got a few little notes here. So if we look, let me make it bigger. You must also look at yesterday's episode to know why was he wearing the CSI shirt. I mean, where did he get it? He wanted to be a detective, you guys. Shame. He's one of us. Okay. So Terri said on June 1st. Remember, this is June 4th when Kyron was last seen. So I just wanted to give you a little bit. There's little snippets, little interesting bits that I'm sharing along the way. So Terri, his stepmother, said on June 1st. Kyron's red-eyed tree frog diorama for a school project. The water is flarp, F-L-A-R-P, a noisy, silly putty of sorts, but bodes well for this kind of project since it holds its form and doesn't dry out too quickly. Okay, don't know why the world needed to know that on her Facebook, but okay, cool fact. And then June 1st as well, she said, Kyron's red-eyed tree frog diorama for school, he did the whole thing himself, I just gave him verbal instructions. I believe she was very strict with him, with the kids in general. She set the rules, and her biological son said, if you don't follow those rules, you're in trouble. So when she says, I just gave him instructions, I'm sure she did. Very disciplinary, right? So then she said on June 4th, it was on June 4th that she actually posted this picture on Facebook. Now, yesterday we went over her entire timeline that we know of so far. We always add to it. That's why this is many layers. So you got to watch all the episodes. So then, and for all the information, right? I can't even believe, like today, I'm showing you so many things, which is not even what I wanted to show you. We're going to do that tomorrow. Like, so much information. So anyway, she posted this picture on Facebook. Now remember, there's a lot of time that's unaccounted for in her timeline. It just doesn't add up. But she went home and then she posted the pictures of Kyron on Facebook. But you see there, she tagged Desiree. But then she also bothered her with emailing her. I'm saying it like that because they had a system. They wouldn't message each other or email each other pictures. They would store pictures because, Kyron sometimes lived with his dad and stepmother, and sometimes he'd go home to visit his mom and stepdad. And he was so excited to go there for the summer. He was really looking forward to it. And this was the week before the school was closing for the summer. So then I also learned today that, when they were all waiting at the bus stop for, as in Terri, Kane, and the little sister at the bus stop for Kyron to come home that day at 3, Terri said, well, they were very excited because they were going to take him for ice cream. So maybe that's why they're all waiting there, because he was so excited about his project, which is something I was wondering about yesterday, but I did find something that said that. Anyway, the point is, she emailed Desiree at 1:24 p.m. and again at 1:26. At 1:24 to be like, did you see that? Did you see that? I put the picture on Facebook. You see that? But you see, why do you have to email her if you're tagging her already? Why the need to put this picture in everyone's face? Is it because she's such a proud parent, step-parent, or what? Or what? The reason I say that is because if you remember from yesterday, she was walking around, I loosely call it alibi walk, right? She's the primary suspect according to a judge. We'll find that out later today. But the thing is, she was walking around at different stores and going to the gym. And every time she's talking to people, she's like, you see this picture? Look at this picture. There's a lady that she knows from the gym, Andrea, I believe her name was, Andrea Leckie. And she said, the conversation was a little odd because she was like, look at the picture. See this picture? It's him. I took this picture. Yeah, science fair. So you see her pushing of this picture. Could she have really just been that excited? I don't know. Because she sure left at 8:45. She didn't, like, Friday was family day. So why is she not walking around with him? I know normal school day was meant to start at 10, but at 8:45 she's out of there. You know what I mean? To do what? To go to Fred Meyer, the gym, drive around for 90 minutes, go home, post to Facebook. So there's that. So then I also wondered if there's any receipts. Like, do we have any proof that she even went really to those Fred Meyer stores? Like, do they have video surveillance? Because I know they appeal to the public. What do they have? Thank you so much, Coffee Girl. You say, thank you, G, for such hard work. I thought I knew this case, but I'm learning so much. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Good to hear that. So, Terry said, I have a receipt showing I was checking out at Fred Meyer 7 miles away at 9:12 a.m. I went to another Fred Meyer looking for meds for Kitty. That's the nickname for her daughter. She was 19 months old at the time. But they didn't have at the first Fred Meyer, right? So she was saying that her daughter was struggling with an ear infection, and so she was getting meds for her. Then I was trying to get Kitty to sleep in the truck for a few minutes, but no go for 90 minutes driving around. No go, so off to the gym. Okay, so you're telling us that your 19-month-old daughter is struggling with an ear infection, and your solution is to drive around for 90 minutes. Sometimes kids can fall asleep in cars, sure, especially if you found the medication you were looking for. But the thing is to then immediately after that, go to the gym and drop your 19-month-old daughter in distress, suffering with the ear infection at the daycare is interesting. And she said, off to the gym at 11:20, out at 12:20. The gym says she clocked in at 12:20. She says she was there. I mean, the time changes all the time, so we've got to keep track of this, okay? She says at some point she was there from 11:45 to 12:45 or 11:39 to 12:39. Now it's going to the gym at 11:20 and clocking out at 12:20. However, the gym said she clocked in at 12:20. Weird, right? She said home at 12:45. Other statements said home at 1, but okay. She said Kane home at 2, bus at 3:30. That was my day. They keep asking me now on my 5th interview with them. Miss Schmoobie says she's full of BS. Well, over here we say she's full of cuck. If you don't know what cuck is, you got to check out my second channel. Karin will teach you. Okay. So, I'm just checking if I'm missing anything here. Oh, man. Cheryl Lynn says, after the member stream yesterday, saying she's sick is an understatement. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to read through that all publicly. Can't do it. It was just so gross, you guys. SNS says, Terri and her supporters have been known to dox, threaten, harass people who question her lies, me included. Thanks for covering this case. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you so much, SNS. I have heard that as well. And I mean, that's just straight up abuse. So I don't know. Do birds of a feather flock together or what? What's going on there? Why are they so defensive? Why are they like that? It's like a gang. You know what I mean? This is about Kyron. Getting the story straight. Just say where you were. Where did you drive to? Where were you? Why are you lawyering up with the best lawyer in Oregon? You and your friend are lawyering up like that. It's just so weird, right? Yeah, and went to the gym but didn't work out. I also was looking today, well, what was she wearing? There's some reports out there saying she was wearing gym clothes. I'm like, what was she wearing? Did she change? Did she shower there after this long drive? We don't know what she was doing on this drive. Did she maybe just clock in there, have a shower and go, or what? Or did she really just clock in at 12:20 and leave so that it's like, it just shows I was there? Because the gym says she clocked in at 12:20, so that's very odd. Anyway, so we move on. So again, I ask if Terri tagged Desiree. So if the stepmom tagged the mom in these Facebook posts, why they need to then also email and then email again and be like, oh, let's make 2 emails, 124 and 1:26 p.m. 2 minutes later. Can't you just put that all in one email? She's like, oh yeah, let me talk about t-shirts I've ordered and also summer plans. Like, could you leave the woman in peace? That's why there's boundaries in place. There were boundaries in place. There were agreements. Jean Davis says, I would not leave my daughter who has an earache. And her story is that she put her daughter in the daycare and within 15 minutes she had to fetch her. And she also said she was only there for a short bit, didn't work out, okay? And yet she talked to a woman she hardly knows or talks to usually. It's so weird. Like, her stories just don't make sense. Which is why, I mean, at this point she's very deceptive, and we know this because of text message proof. We know that she's been deceptive a lot in her life, which is why That's already a red flag, right? Bridget, welcome to membership. I hope you check out yesterday's stream if you want to. Lenny, thank you so much for your $7.99 super sticker. Really appreciate it. Okay, so let's continue on. We're still deep diving. Hope you guys are keeping up. Hope you know what we're talking about. Now, I blanked this little boy's face out, of course, because he was a minor here. I mean, if he's the same age as Kyron was, I'm not sure if he was. He would be, I don't know, 7-ish or so. But anyway, the point of showing you this is that she took a picture of another little boy and uploaded it to Facebook at the same project. You can see. But look in the background. There's just not that many people there. And the reason I say that is because she said she arrived with Kyron and her daughter sometime after 8 a.m. In some interviews, I've heard 8:15 a.m. That's pretty damn early. I know the doors open at 8. I know that, the science fair is like 8 to 10. But even thinking of where she parked the truck is odd. With witnesses saying they saw another adult in the truck, odd. Lots of strange things, right? Okay. So I could just see she did get there early. Wouldn't be surprised if it's like, as doors open, let's go. And then she left at 8:45. Okay. Dana says, why haven't they been able to charge her with something all these years? They say they need... There's been grand jury indictments several times. They've collected evidence over 13 years. They want to make sure that when they get the person who led to Kyron's disappearance, whatever that may be, we'll look at plausible scenarios in a moment, that they do it right. It cannot be a case, that has any risk of not leading to a conviction, right? Thank you so much, Dana. All right, so then we look at June 6th. Terri said on Facebook, I ordered 1,000 flyers. They'll be coming to our house. I will let people know when they are here and we can go from there. Thank you, everyone. But the flyers had actually been ordered by Desiree's employer. But Terri took credit for them. And already there we can see some sort of envy, jealousy, weirdness towards Kyron's biological mother, Desiree. Because it's just weird. Yes, thank you, Kyron Horman's World Soldiers, for answering that. Yes, Kane works at Intel. If people are asking questions, you didn't watch yesterday. You didn't watch? Naughty. Okay, so look at this. June 6th, I ordered 1,000 flyers. They'll be coming to our house. I will let people know. Meanwhile, the flyers had been ordered by Desiree's employer. She also said on June 8th, 2010, hitting the gym tomorrow. I didn't get home until 8 p.m. tonight. Everybody else is freaking out. They're really worried. They are searching for Kyron. They're trying to remain calm. She's saying, hitting the gym tomorrow. I didn't get home until 8 p.m. tonight. That's what she's saying. Now, when asked in an interview, which was years later, why did you say that? Like, where's your mind? She says, the police. She always blames it on the police. She says the police said that I need to continue as per normal. We all do. Go grocery shopping. Go to the gym. Act normal. Act cool. Act cool. Like, whereas the other 3 parents are like, no, they didn't say that. like the thing she says, they told me not to talk to my friend Dede. We had to just, no. And the lawyers. She says the lawyers said that. Doubt it. Unless, I don't know what the lawyers know. Their lawyers, I mean. There's that. But then she'll very quickly throw the police under the bus as well by being like, yep, this is all corruption from the police. That's why they're pinning this on me. Like, oh, man. So, wait, what? Oh, yeah. See, I understand. I was like, wait, what? Okay. So on August 1st, Kyron's photo was noticeably absent from Terri Hormon's support page on Facebook, replaced with a picture of smiling Terri Hormon and the words, there's not one piece of physical evidence that proves Terry's involved with Kyron's disappearance, only rumors, innuendo, and speculation. A lot of people have commented, in the immediate circle, that it's always been about her. For her, it's always been about her. Right? Janet says, sorry, police did not say that to her. Okay. I'm not T-Pain says, Red Squirrel, Rhonda is the alpha. She won't let you think differently or else she'll sit on you. That's, you were at the member stream. That is true. So, yes. There's that. There's all of that. It's just poor me. You know, the whole poor me syndrome thing. We see that quite often. Now, if we look at this. This is what we looked at in the member stream yesterday. And if you do become a member today, check it out. Good luck. Good luck. Trigger warning. We actually did the horror hog warning. This is the horror hog. Trigger pig. Trigger swine. On June 30th, July 1st, by then, Kane had found out, her husband, about the murder for hire plot, which we looked at yesterday. So he was like, whoa, I'm moving out and taking our daughter with me. So he left the house, filed for divorce, got a restraining order. She then moved her friend in with her for 11 days, Dede, the one that was also on the flyer, and that police were asking, like, did anyone see either of these at any point on June the 4th? Right? Or the day before or after anyone? Anything like that? Welcome, CJ's mom, 55, welcome. So, yes, there was that, but then not only that, she got burner phones. She got another friend to buy 2 burner phones using a fake name at a Lloyd's store. And the very next day, somebody else went to a different Lloyd's store and used the same fake name and profile to buy more burner phones, which is all very interesting. Also, that doesn't show much innocence, right? When you're like, ooh, burner phones. You know, no one else is doing this at this point. The rest of the family is ready to just hand over their phones, hand over everything, no matter what, just to find Kyron. This is all hush-hush burner phones talking in the backyard, saying the house is bugged. But what Terri did was start a affair with her husband's friend from high school, Michael Cook. I don't know why I can't even... Michael Cook. It always feels like that's not his name, but it's Michael Cook, right? So... I'm just showing you this snippet. If it gives anyone from last night's member stream PTSD, I'm so sorry about that. So she said, no. So this is just a snippet from that. There's a whole 21-page document with all of this. I'm just giving you an example. She said, no, I follow through. Try me. And Terri also says, Steve, a.k.a. lawyer extraordinaire. She was bragging about how much her lawyer cost. But she's got Steve... House, lawyer extraordinaire. Okay, so this just gives you a little insight into where her mind's at 26 days after Kyron went missing. And we don't know what communication she had before, but just remember, Kane only moved out 4 days before this. Right? Yeah, burner phone, said Dana, red flag. So then, Michael says, wow, I thought you might be kind of fun. Ah, yes. She says, Terri says, watch yourself or you might find out. Michael says, one can only hope. Wink. Terri says, you are toast. Beware. Grin. Going to bed. Underwear and tank top. Think about that. Indeed. And that was on June 30th. Same month, 26 days after Kyron had gone missing. Do you think she's acting worried? Do you think she even is worried? Never mind acting worried. Is she worried? These are her priorities. Moving a friend in, drinking wine, making Italian food, and sexting on a burner phone with her husband's friend. And her reason for it in this interview, which we'll deep dive a little more tomorrow, her reason for it is, I was just trying to get back at Kane because he was doing the same thing to me. Again, is that your priority? A little bit of tit for tat. Okay, why? And that's not even true. From everything I've read, she's just making this up, right? Anyway, point is, she said on July 1st, lol, get your ass over here and I will show you how I can do a golf ball through a garden hose. That's what Terri wrote to him. Now that's classic. Oh man, like what? Get your ass over here. I will show you how I can do a golf ball through a garden hose. I don't know, that doesn't sound like sexy talk to me. And then the next word is doggy. And Michael said, And she said, Terri said, on my knees. And she sent pictures as well. She also sent a picture of one of her breasts and said, that's only the left one. Do you want something bigger? Which I don't know how that makes sense. But then he said, yeah. More pictures and videos were sent. You don't want to know, you guys. If you want to know, you check out yesterday's members only stream. We went through the entire document. There was only one word I didn't read because I was just like, I can't do it. It's too embarrassing. So, also, before we move on, I just want to say, based on this entire search for years for Kyron, I'm not sure how many drone pilots have been out there. I know the helicopters we use, searchers on foot, everything, right? But if you're in the area, if you live there, and you are a drone pilot, it might be helpful to take some drone footage. If you want to send it to me, I can obviously compile it together as well, and do that. But that's always helpful to see the area from above as well. Okay, so that's what we got. So now here we go with plausible scenarios. Then we're going to do a deep dive after this on who Terri is, right? So what could have happened to Kyron? Now there's many scenarios we could explore. I've narrowed it down to about 3. Okay. So number 1, he left the school on his own. I saw in the comments yesterday, some people were commenting that, and I asked them, are you saying that before you even watched the video? And they said yes. They're like, yes. And I'm like, okay, just watch the video and then let me know what you think. I would advise that. Some people comment in the comment section as if they're in the live stream, but just like think before you type, watch, make up your mind, and then comment something, because I do read the comments and sometimes they're really, really helpful. Death Angel says, thank you for all your hard work, G. Thank you so much. Death Angel and Denise Parker, G, please stop too graphically correct. Clinically graphic. I know, right? Susanna says, well, that a woman has one bigger than the other. I know I have. Okay, let's move on from that, right? We don't want to know. It's like burning our minds. Oh, no. Okay. So some people say he left school on his own, like he just wandered off. So let's look at what I bullet pointed there. The area around Skyline Elementary was thoroughly searched for 7 days. I think there's a typo there, right? Wait. Thoroughly searched. There's always got to be a typo. I need like a typo jar, right? Thoroughly searched for 7 days following Kyron's disappearance and more. I'm just saying like grid search, like major grid search, 1,300 searches, FBI, the police, tracker dogs, cadaver dogs, everything thoroughly searched. So even if he like walked out, I'm not too sure why he would do that and why then they would not find him. Right? Especially because that area was so much. If 7-year-olds, where they're going to go? Okay. So, yes, Donna Adams, me too. Then, his family said he wasn't the type to wander off outside on his own, and we'll later learn he was actually really afraid of getting lost. He wouldn't just go out and wander because he was terrified of getting lost. Okay? So, to me, that's the least likely possibility. Okay? So then, thank you so much. CJ's mom, you said, I just bought 2 cups of coffee. Thank you, mods. Thank you for spoiling the mods, you guys. We do have a tip jar for the moderators now. It's shared there by Nightbot, buymeacoffee.com, and I think Grizzly mods. Okay, so thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that you spoiled the mods too. They also need coffee, believe me. Okay, so I just want to answer this question quickly. Estelle says, how did she get his backpack and jacket back? Now remember, we're going to look at number 2 now. How did she get his jacket and backpack? And then she washed it immediately, which is so odd. Not the way to help an investigation. Like, for instance, Tony, the stepdad, he's got like DNA kits and fingerprints and everything like in the safe. Terri, who loves crime mystery novels, she loves crime, true crime, she rattles off true crime cases like nobody's business, and she wanted to change her name to a murder mystery novel character. She loves watching Dexter, but this one just immediately washes his backpack and jacket. Now, how did she get it back? Because when they got the call, when the bus driver said that Kyron was marked absent and wasn't on the bus, Terri and Kane and her daughter got in the car and drove to the school, and then she collected the backpack and jacket. So that's how, because they went there to find out what's going on. The school secretary then called 911. Okay, so then number 2, he was abducted. Now, a lot of people look at this theory too. We can look at all of these. We can keep an open mind because at the end of the day, we have Kyron, right? We want to know what happened, where is he? So there was an open invitation to the school for the science fair. There were 300 to 400 people at the school that day. 4 people, though, said that they saw Kyron leave with Terri. 4 people, at least 4 people, said, wait a minute, I saw, one was a bus driver, and I think it was like 2 or 3 of Kyron's friends. Like, oh yeah, he left with Terri. Wait, what? One interview I saw with one of Kyron's friends said, yeah, I don't know, I think I saw him like on the south side of the building by himself, but at that age he's not too sure of the time. So the police were like, oh my word, he was seen alone after 8:45 on the south side, but then they quickly backtracked from that, backpedal from that statement, because they're like, shame, the kid's like 6 or 7, he can't really know, he can't even tell the time, let alone know exactly what time he may have seen Kyron there. And it could have been when he's coming up the stairs, because Terri says, they went up separate staircases, and that's her account of things as well. Thanks for being a member for 2 months. Okay. So he was abducted is a theory. However, if you watch all the press conferences over the years, you learn more and more information. And in one of them, Desiree had said every single person who was at the school that day has been cleared. They've been thoroughly investigated. One would think after 13 years with the FBI involved, they're going to look at every single person who was there that day. But is it possible that someone would just waltz in and abduct someone? Slightly possible, very unlikely. We've had some criminal profilers over the years say very unlikely as well. Damn, Scorpio Mercury Mom says, this is my favorite YouTube channel of all time. Thank you so much. Oh my word. Really, really appreciate it. Dana said, did they not get that on camera? Where are we talking about? We're talking about the school or what? But him being abducted, it is a busy day and everything, but how weird would that be to be like, come here, little boy, come with me, and then just walk out. And when? Because at 8:45, the time that Terri says she left, the time when 4 people say they saw Kyron with Terri, that same time is when someone would have to abduct him then. Why? Because from that point on, all the children are divided into groups, and there's an adult chaperone, and they can go around to all these exhibits at the science fair, and then there's going to have the talent show at 1 o'clock, right? Amanda Green says, thank you for caring for the victims and helping people like me who don't have a lot of time to research these cases. I remember this case. Thank you for the updates and the deep dive. You're my favorite YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing the little frogs. That's so cute. So if you guys want to share, yes, you are sharing throughout the stream, I can see. Thank you so much. And members, you do have a red-eyed tree frog emoji as well to show support for Kyron and his family. Okay. Wow, Duck has got a theory here. Feel free to share your thoughts here, guys. I don't think Terri did it. She's a predator, narcissist. She doesn't ever get her hands dirty. I think she took him to Savi, and Dede picked him up, and Dede did something. Why would Dede protect Terri? But then Dede that's the friend, right? If you guys don't know, check out yesterday's one. We'll look at a little bit today again. I think it's on my presentation here, or more tomorrow. We're going to look at her depositions and her pleading the fifth to 143 questions at a grand jury indictment, which is a bit odd. It's also quite lame. Just answer the question. They were such soft questions. Why can't you answer the question? Do you even know of Kyron? I'm pleading the fifth. What were you doing that day? I'm pleading the fifth. All the time pleading the fifth, right? Okay, so he was abducted by some predator is going to walk in there and intercept at that time and just walk him out. Remember, the Terri had said he's got a doctor's appointment. The teacher marked him absent, not being alarmed, because she's like, oh yeah, Terri said that he's got a doctor's appointment today. Terri now backpedals that and says, no man, I meant the next Friday. That's what I meant, the next Friday. And in the mix, she also adds in that her daughter had a doctor's appointment. And in the mix, she says she was at the doctor the day before. So we hear so far a lot of doctor, a lot of ears. You'll see what I mean later. Tony, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Yeah, 4 people saw him. Wait, let's just see. Lorraine says 4 people saw him leave with Terri, and then poor Kyron was never seen again. That's 4 eyewitnesses. Right? We looked at that yesterday, so if you're wondering who those people are, check it out. Okay. Crime Mime says, how was he marked as absent, but they had his backpack and jacket at the school? So, I don't know how to answer that really, except for it depends where the backpack and jacket is, and maybe they're not checking that. They're counting heads, and it's a huge day. It's a science fair. They're very busy. Okay, everybody's like, okay, this and this and this. And the teacher remembered, oh yeah, okay, he's not here because he went to a doctor's appointment. So they would leave the jacket and backpack there. Maybe the plan was for him to come back later because he was supposed to be part of the talent show, which was at 1 o'clock. So maybe between 10 and 1 would be marked absent. That makes total sense to me, actually, thinking out loud here. Because the teacher was like, he's gone to a doctor's appointment. Okay. Thank you everyone for all your support, and Just Joe for being a member for 5 months. Snow Lady, that is one of the theories as well. You say perhaps she sold Kyron. That'll take quite a lot of organizing, right? But that is a possibility. So, number 3, Terri did something. Now, we don't know what that may be, and there's many possibilities, but there are a lot of red flags, like parking far away from the entrance of the school. Now, I asked myself, is it because it was like really busy? Is that why? But firstly, she got there possibly earlier than most. And secondly, you could see in the photo of the white truck, there's no other, it's not like cars stacked all along the road. That's a photo they have of where the white truck was parked. So that's a bit odd. But anyway, now we got to think of motive for all of these, right? You got to think of motive. That's the most important. Because that can help one think it through. Like explain, why would someone do this? Now, this is a little snippet from the book Boy Missing by Rebecca Morris, which I referenced yesterday, put in the description box. It's still there if you want to check it out. I've listened to the whole audiobook, and I've also read the book because, I don't know, I prefer reading actually, but I wanted to listen to on my walks, you know? And I'm probably going to read it again. I like to read and listen lots of times to hear all the info because it's jam-packed with info. And anyway, so from there's a snippet. Okay, now the word blood is highlighted because I literally searched in the search bar for blood. I searched for hair, blood, DNA, saliva, all this kind of stuff. At this point, I just screenshotted that to show you. So don't take it as blood, just take it as what I've highlighted there. So Tony, the stepdad, thought something had happened, that something in the case had broken. Terri said that the police had told her that they found Kyron's DNA in the bed of Kane's truck, like back. Huh? Terri seemed unconcerned about that. Desiree remembered. She shrugged it off. I was asking, why would Kyron's DNA be in the bed of Kane's truck? No one had any answers. Desiree wasn't told what had been found. Blood, saliva, urine, hair, something else. So we don't know. And this could be one of those things that the police are keeping very close to the vest, right? As they do, as the investigation continues. But apparently, Kyron's DNA was found in the back of the truck. Now, can it be found from other times that, you know, he was just in the back of the truck or, I don't know, climbing in there, riding in the back of the truck, whatever? Sure, but it depends what that DNA is. So that opens that door of, interesting. Could there be the possibility of something sinister happening? They could be. Could Terri be innocent? Maybe. I mean, not only is she not named as a person of interest or suspect officially, but the grand jury indictments have never led to like, yes, we need to go to trial now, even though they've met several times and subpoenaed dozens of witnesses and talked to some of them for over 2 hours, which becomes very interesting as well. You know, all these things you read, we can go over some more of that as we go along in this case. I don't want to overwhelm you with information, but yet we have so much more information to go. So the thing is, we don't know what their DNA is, but maybe the police, I think they do. And that's going to be quite interesting, I would say, one day. Again, I consider all of this possible trial prep in this case. Okay, so we're going to go on. It wasn't only that one little snippet that makes me say, oh my word, could she have done something? Don't worry, we're continuing on. So these are emails that Terri had sent to friends. These were made public, especially after Kane filed for divorce, for a restraining order. And then, yes, that and the grand jury indictments and everything just started revealing some information, like those sexting texts we just saw as well. How do you think that came to light, you know? Yes. Little Miss Madhead says, horror hog evidence. I hope they find him. He got to be somewhere. Jillybean says, something sinister did happen. There hasn't been yet a grand jury indictment, no. Okay, so emails that Terri sent to friends. The teacher, okay, so this again is, now this is an excerpt from this book, right? There's the book, page 265. You could see it there on Kindle if you get it as well. You could read along with me. The teacher, this is what Terri wrote. Again, I remind you, are you listening? Terri wrote this. The teacher thought I said I was going to take Kyron with Kitty, the nickname for her daughter, for a doctor's appointment. I said I was going to look at other exhibits. How do you mess that up? Hey, even that first sentence doesn't make any sense, right? Multi-Brad 777 says, most excellent information as always. Getting more information here from you than I have in the last 10 years plus following this important. Damn, thank you so much. And we're not even done yet. This is episode 3 so far, right? Oh no, 2 was the members one. This is number 2. Tomorrow we carry on. Now, when she says, the teacher thought I said I was going to take Kyron with Kitty for a doctor's appointment. I said I was going to look at other exhibits. How do you mess that up? His coat and backpack was still at school. Oh yes, calculated. Okay, I'll stop snarking now. Let's just read it. I left the school at 9. Interesting. Again, those 10 minutes matter. She said she left. She last saw him at 8:45. She left at 8:50. Now she says I left the school at 9. And he was seen with a man chaperone and 2 girls after I left. Where'd you get that story from? There were no men on the chaperone list. Okay. No men. Right. Only women allowed on the chaperone list. I call BS on that. That it was highly chaotic. Had to have been 300 people running around. No coordination. I didn't just drop him off. I spent time with him. Took pictures. And he was in safe hands, I thought, as I watched him walk down the hall. Kids saw him after I left. The teacher put him as absent at 10 a.m. Someplace between 9 and 10 is when we think it happened. Interesting, because the police are like, sometime between 8:45 and 8:55 something happened. Right? But anyway, she's like, sometime between 9 and 10. Why between 9 and 10? Because then already the kids would have been assigned to their chaperones, which she said would be female then. A female chaperone. Kids are in groups and now they're officially going around looking at the exhibits. So why in the hell would something happen between 9 and 10? It makes no sense. Okay, so then I have a receipt showing I was checking out of Fred Meyer 7 miles away at 9:12. I can't help snarking up. You made sure of that, didn't you? She's got that receipt. I went to another Fred Meyer looking for meds for Kitty they didn't have at the First FM. Then I was trying to get Kitty to sleep in the truck for a few minutes, but no go, so off to the gym at 11:20. Out to 12:20. We're going to get to the highlighted parts we're getting to, right, that we didn't look at earlier. Out to 12:20. Home at 12:45. Came home at 2. Bus at 3:30. That was my day. They keep asking me. Now I'm my 5th interview with them. The past 2 weeks, Kyron's been acting really weird. Oh, now we're adding in more stories, okay? He's been acting really weird, staring off into, let's get to the next slide, staring off into space. Can't remember anything, right? This email, when was this email sent? That email we just read? June 5th, the day after. The day after she's writing this, okay? So, wait, we got to go back to this slide just to make sure that you understand the day after. The day after she's writing this and she's saying they've interviewed me 5 times already. Damn, 5 times. The day after, huh? Okay. So she said, he's staring off into space. Can't remember anything. Walks into the room and then back out, stopping to stare and then move on. The doc thinks he's having mini seizures and I made an appointment on Thursday, June the 3rd, for next Friday to have him checked out. Oh, wow. That must be the reason for that doctor's appointment, because at this point she may have realized, wait, why did I make a doctor's appointment for a week from now? Also, why that? Please tell me that. Why are you making a doctor's appointment a week from now and then confusing the teacher saying he's not going to be on Friday because of this doctor's appointment? And then the teacher's like, okay, absent. No wonder he's absent. Okay, cool. His friends, his own friends at school even said, well, they weren't worried because they knew he's going to the doctor. Because kids talk. Kyron thought he was going to the doctor. Anyway, so the point is, doesn't that just... I don't actually love comparing convicted criminals with potential ones, but damn, remember how Lori Vallow said that about her son? Like, he's just acting so weird. He's like staring out into space and, he's just not acting right. Now that became very religious and she was like, he's a demon. There's a demon in him, And that case, if you don't know about that case, check out my playlist as well on that. But yes, OMG, Jean, you know what really irks me is the victim blaming that comes up so quickly. Already the next day, she's saying, there's something not right with him. He was just staring into space. And she's the only one that says this, by the way. Kane doesn't say it. Desiree's like, this is bullcrap. He wasn't having mini seizures. Like, what is she even talking about? Okay, but this is the worst right here. Now we need a trigger warning because this is very, very horrible to see this. And wow, about a 7-year-old, she says, welcome, be kind. She says, She said that Kyron had been touching himself and she had found him on top of Kayla. The audacity, you guys. I can't. That makes me so mad. Really? On the next day, you're already going to say crap like this? What does this have to do with anything? He's missing. I don't understand. Like, what is the point of sharing this crap? Like, oh, he's been touching himself and he's also been on top of my 19-month-old. Wow. I don't know about that. Yeah, you guys are like, what? Just, man, okay. So that's emails to a friend. Motive. Now, a lot of people yesterday, not a lot of people, some people, especially in the comment section that I was reading, were like, yeah, victim bashing equals guilt. Oh, it's just horrible. And we see this so often in true crime cases where a perpetrator, potential suspect, you know, they quickly go to victim blaming, saying things like that. Okay. And Cha-Cha Dodd says because that's where her mind is parked. Yeah, and who's the inappropriate one in the room? It's her. Moving on. Some people in the comments yesterday were like, why do I say she reminds me of Letitia? Why? Because of this stuff. Because I've read the book. Go and read the book and you'll know. You'll be on the same page. Read everything you can. Read all the books. Listen to things. Read the articles. Do your homework, right? The thing is, let's read this little bit from Boy Missing. Terri's lawyer, Peter Bunch, argued that she was Kayla's primary caregiver. Kayla is the altered name of her daughter, okay, for the book, to protect the minor, right? So Terri's lawyer, Peter Bunch, argued that she was Kayla's primary caregiver and that Kayla needed to see her mother even if visits were supervised. Kane claimed that he was Kayla's primary caregiver, working at home 3 to 5 days a week, and home with Kayla in the afternoon and evening. In his affidavit, Kane also mentioned what he called Terri's historical problems with the abuse of alcohol. Desiree had learned about Terri's DUI years before, and we're going to dive into the years before stuff. But she did not know the details that Kane revealed in the affidavit. It was common for the respondent to be visibly impaired from alcohol, slurring her speech, and sorry that I cut off there, slurring speech, passed out on the couch, neglecting the children. So she's either disciplining them or neglecting them from what Kane is saying. Welcome, J1990. Pocket leopard. What doctor would say a child's having mini seizures before they can examine them in a week? And when's the last time that doctor saw them? Oh man, I hope the doctors testify too at these grand jury indictments, because I think these grand jury meetings are they're just gathering evidence over the years. They're gonna have such a strong case eventually, right? For whatever happened here. So then, Desiree believed Kane had fudged the facts to the police about when Terri had entered their lives, not wanting to admit that he was having an affair with Terri when he was still married to pregnant Desiree. So he'd already been with Terri or met her, the text that we've seen from Terri and how she operates, from April 2002. So Desiree was only 4 or 5 months pregnant at that point, right? So then, he had kept from Desiree the full story of Terri's hatred of Kyron, and that Terri was drinking around the children. Kane said in documents supporting his custody of Kayla that the girl might have witnessed some unimaginable act of horror on June 4th, because she was in the car, in the truck, right? Desiree had long wondered if Kayla had seen Kyron's last moments. Had she heard him crying, seen him struggling, calling for help? Did she see him die? The questions that plague the family's minds, right? Let's see what I'm missing. Yeah. Kyron Horman's World Soldier says, I think that goes towards Terri's motive as well. She told many people that about Kyron. That is so sad to hear. And that is why, if anyone's wondering, why do I say, wow, this case just reminds me so much of Gannon-Stauch and Letitia. It's the dynamics, it's the psychology, it's what we're learning as we go, right? So here we go with some more. Again, the highlighted word I searched for, because I'm trying to remember which page it was on. So it's easy on Kindle to just search. So I would recommend getting the audiobook and the Kindle version so you can listen and search and everything. Okay. So Terri tried to send Kyron to live in Medford. That's where Desiree lived, right? But Kane wouldn't agree. Terri and Kane had heated arguments, something that Kane only admitted to police months after Kyron disappeared. He kept that to himself because he probably, in his mind, I would think it's that sinking feeling. I'm speculating it's like a sinking feeling. I'm like, oh crap, because he might have known she's speculatively quite abusive. And I'm saying that because she has DV in her history, okay, in her past, and we're going to look at that. She steals guns, she steals cars, she's got DV charges, she's got murder for hire plots, not just 1, 2, at least that we know of. Thank you for being a member for 1 month. Thank you so much, Jay. Okay, so if only Desiree had known the extent to which Terri wanted Kyron gone, about Terri's emails concerning her hatred for Kyron, that Kyron was being teased and manipulated right under Kane's nose, that Kane and Terri had been arguing, that Terri wanted Kane gone and Kyron gone. And when did she want them gone? Terri had fought with Kane until 3 o'clock in the morning, June 4th. So from June 3rd, the evening, until 3 o'clock in the morning, June 4th, before she takes Kyron to school. And she said she wants a divorce, she's done. And the next day, she told friends she's going to get that divorce and take her daughter with her and leave. Well, she had one stop to make, it seems, which is take Kyron to school, and then she's the last person to see him. It's just like, oh man. So it's not uncommon with what we're thinking. We've seen it happen many times before, right? So we could be wrong, but it just seems like, oh man, there's a lot of, you got to look at motive to understand, even if, what's the motive of someone abducting someone? That could be for, trigger words for YouTube, trafficking. It could be for, you know, all kinds of things, financial motives, whatever, all this stuff. But like motive, this starts stacking up, if true. I'm going to say it like that because it's what we know. Do I have the actual emails? No. Would love to see those, but let's wait till trial, right? Kaya, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Yeah, Little Miss Maddie says they both got diabetes. Terrible Terri and Tisha Kardash. Yes, so then, look at that. That Kyron was being teased and manipulated right under Kane's nose. That Kane and Terri had been arguing. That Terri wanted Kane gone and Kyron gone. This is from the previous, sorry, I think this was from the previous one, that she was slurring her speech. She had a staggering gait several nights a week, he said. That's what Kane said. He also wrote that he'd find Kayla wandering around the house alone at night, and Terri passed out on the couch after drinking heavily. Desiree mentioned that she'd seen Terri's emails only recently. It's very clear she had a severe hatred of Kyron. I now believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that not only is she capable of hurting Kyron, it's clear that she could have hurt him in the worst possible way. We know that Terri blamed Kyron for her failing marriage. And that was hubby number 3. So by then, she was pretty pissed off. She kicked her own son out of the house. He was 16. She's like, you go live with my parents, adoptive parents. You go live with him. Get out of this house. He's like, damn, okay. So out with that one. And then really just trying to make it work here with Kane, but yet, by all appearances, cheating. We've got the texting evidence of that. Remember, she enticed a married man. I know he's also to blame for that, for cheating. I'm just saying, she's like, oh yeah, all okay with banging a married man with a pregnant wife, 4 months pregnant. Okay, so she said, Desiree said this, and she said it also in media interviews, press conferences. So if you check those out, I mean, it will be all day if I show you all of those. I would highly recommend you check them out. Just type in Kyron Horman press conference, Kyron Horman interviews, Desiree Young interviews, Desiree, all of that. You'll see all of them, right? I do bring clips. So I'll bring you some clips again tomorrow because I have collected some for you again. So we know that Terri blamed Kyron for her failing marriage and wanted him out of her life. Desiree told the media she put everything in writing. She had a severe hatred for Kyron. In what one TV station called her most direct accusation to date, she said, we know that Terri's responsible, yet she remains silent. So again, it's not just like we are looking at this and thinking, that's a bit odd. It's a red flag. Interesting. And it's still all we're saying. Not the family, man. Between Kane, Desiree, Tony, the FBI, investigators, you know, the police, press conferences, everything is like, whoa. All roads just seem to lead. The Occam's razor leads to Terri, it seems. Now, does it have to mean it's so? No. There could be a usual suspect. There could be someone really sus that's there, that's glaringly obvious. And sometimes we see in cases, it's something completely else. And someone completely else. You know? So that is still possible. But I just don't understand why she needs to lie so much, cover up so much. You know what I mean? That just is like, come on. Okay. I'm just reading what you guys are saying quickly. So that's what we have there. So that to me tells me there's some plausible motive there. Now, what does Terri think happened to Kyron? Because she says what she thinks on interviews. What does she think? Yes, I put a frog on her head, okay. Okay, she thinks that he went outside to explore horse stables or to find a red tree frog to add to his project. Earth to Terri, there's no red tree frogs in Portland, Oregon. Okay, especially not just like outside. I don't know if there's, I don't know, like, did you, I thought you were giving instructions with the project. Did you read nothing of the project? They're not there. Oh, man. Okay, but also, it's odd to me that she says explore horse stables. Why? Because a few days before, I think it was 3 days before, she posted pictures of her parents, which are adoptive parents' house. Her son was there. I think Kyron was there from what I remember seeing. We can look. But the thing is, she posted pictures of horse stables. I think they've got horses, or they went to visit one. I don't know. But I'm like, huh. Fresh on your mind, huh? Just like he went outside, from the school. Are there even horse stables right by that school? That's very interesting. Aaron says, the frog has been framed. Blaming the frogs too, yes. So, going to explore horse stables, okay. Or to find a red tree frog to add to his project. Smart. The next reason, what she thinks happened is a suspicious man in a white truck at a gas station probably took him. What does she say? Guess who was driving the white truck? Her. Guess who else has a white truck? Her friend's brother. Now, that doesn't have to do with anything, but I've seen a lot of articles alluding to maybe there being more than one vehicle involved, like 2 vehicles at least, and I'm like, that would be quite interesting. And we know she has some shady connections, okay? I think present day she also has shady connections. I've seen a lot of things on social media, which you must take with a pinch of salt, but I'm like, damn, whoever she's associating with now is like breaking neighbors' ribs and is a bully, and I'm like, what? What is going on? Like, whoever she attracts into her life is just, it sounds a little bit toxic, you know what I mean? So, anyway, she says that the day before, she, and she also makes as if it's like a secondhand story. She'd heard at a gas station that there was this guy just pacing outside, and he had a white truck, and he was asking some other dude, where's the nearest school? And her answer is, and then he said, oh, Skyline, that way. Like, why would anyone do that? The story makes no sense, okay? Of just like some adult guy, male, standing there, hey, where's the nearest school? I mean, that's not suspicious at all, her story. But also in a white truck the day before. He was looking, he was lurking. I don't think that's how it works. I think those types also aren't going to be doing that. They'll know exactly where the nearest school is. There's also something called Google. Yeah, even 13 years ago. You could just literally look up where's the nearest school. And if you really are a predator like that, you're going to know, as I say. The next reason she gives is that, the janitor. That janitor was looking very sus that day. Pin it on the janitor. The janitor was apparently a relative of the principal, if I remember correctly. And shame. Yeah, he was also checked out. Janitor, checked out, cleared. But she's like, janitor, that's definitely it. And then another one is an adult male that wasn't a chaperone. Remember that? That she last saw Kyron with at school took him. Well, if you're seeing him with you're thinking, think about this, guys. She's like, that's weird. I thought there's only female chaperones. There's a male there. There's not supposed to be a male chaperone. Anyway, gotta go. Time to go to Fred Meyer, 2 of them, and then gym. And maybe even other, like, cafes and things. There's such a gap in her timeline, we just don't know. Danielle says it sounds like something that Quincy Brown would ask. Polynesian Bloodline says, so she completely denies taking the boy out of school, even though people saw him. Yep. Complete denial about so many things. So these are her reasons for what she thinks happened. So if she had something plausible here, we could be like, interesting thought. But I just don't know. None of this really can be added to my list of plausible scenarios. What do you think? Now, what does Tony, Kyron's stepdad, the detective, he's now a retired detective, what does he think happened? Because he got a lot of experience, right? I was very interested in that, and I'm glad they put it in the book. So let me read you this. From Boy Missing, right, by Rebecca Morris. What Terri did was more simple than we think. Parts were planned. She knew school procedures. She had thought about it. But that day, it went into motion. If she had been interrupted in any way, she would have abandoned the plan. I think she took him to a place. She strangled him. That's based on the personal nature of her hatred for him. I don't think she had the stomach for a real graphic kind of death. I don't think she'd like the unpleasantness. She'd want to get rid of the body quickly, whatever was the easiest. Proximity was important. She may have dug a hole to bury him. I think she pre-selected a spot. Kyron was killed at that spot, not in the truck, not where someone could see her. The odds of finding him are better if he was buried. And imagine if the it wasn't Tylenol, the Motrin that she got, which I think in this country is called paracetamol, is what you guys are telling me. Imagine if she really did buy that and give it to both kids. We knew the daughter's in the car. Maybe just like, let's just subdue her for a bit. And then also maybe if Kyron's in the car, give him some too to sedate him, right? It's plausible. We're speculating. We're thinking. So the thing is, she'd want to get... Okay, so Kyron was killed at that spot, not in the truck. Again, this is Tony's speculation of what he thinks happened. The odds of finding him are better if he was buried. The after part of the plan was not well planned out. One thing going for her was the terrain. It's tough to find a body. Bodies don't announce themselves. It'll be more difficult if he's in the water. And remember, AWP went out there. They searched the water just in case. They didn't find anything. They were actually looking for a tire, as we talked about yesterday. Go to yesterday's one to know why the hell were they looking for a tire. Okay, so they said, I don't rule out Savi Island. Fishermen have fallen out of boats, were taken out to sea, and were never seen again. Because there's current there. Of course, there's a lot of water there. I don't think Dede was involved. I don't think she left the nursery with Terri. She was just unaccounted for a couple of hours. Even the dregs of society I've seen in my work would not harm a child. Terri has eluded arrest because she acted alone. This crime was committed alone. I hate how lucky she is. That's what he thinks, right? Sandy says, are we sure the truck wasn't a Tiggy one? I don't know, man. Was there a Tiggy one there? Yes. Okay. So that is what Detective Tony Young thinks. What could have happened to Kyron? One other possibility I want to put out there, of course, is that he could still be alive. Now, I know, of course, even in a missing person's case, as days goes on, the stats are not in their favor. But if he was abducted or something, as Terri herself said, JC Dugard, she was found after, 18 years? Right? It was a long time. She's like, well, she was found. Elizabeth Smart was found. She gave those examples in an interview. Now, personally, I think she's just saying those things to look better, you know. But anyway, I'm just showing you these because, of course, the FBI and missing and exploited minors, you could see there, missing children, all these organizations share age progression photos in case one can see that, right? And then maybe someone recognizes Kyron. Maybe he's alive. So keep your eyes peeled. That's the point, right? Let's see. What did Duck say? What am I missing? Duck says, nah, Dede is involved. Well, all right. We like to just hear all the ideas. Kyron Horman's World Soldier says, yes, Dede is. We shall see. But anyway, the point is, okay, keep your eyes peeled. Picture that Kyron would be 20 years old now. And picture him without glasses, just so you can also just see. If you see anyone that looks like him, if you think you've seen him, call call the tip line. Everything's in the description box. Okay. Yes, and B. Nana says, Terri has remarried, living in Clear Lake, California. Thank you so much. I think people are probably asking, right? Yes, she's remarried. She's living in Clear Lake, California. And going to museums, saying, you know what? Kyron would have loved this. What a fabulous day. And I'm like, wait, what? Why is she sharing that? Still keeping up appearances is what I'm saying. But not at the press conferences. Not going to the press conferences or anything like that. Not helping to search. Anyway. So, let's continue on. Thank you all for being here. If you're only joining now, we are looking. It's a deep dive. Yesterday someone said a deep dive. This is a deep dive. Okay? Yesterday was a very big deep dive. We're doing another one. And we're continuing on. Okay? We're going to continue on tomorrow. And maybe even the next day. Got lots of things to discuss in this case. It's very important. So please do share it. So we're discussing Kyron Horman's case. He was last seen on June 4th, 2010. Where? Skyline Elementary School, Portland, Oregon. Okay, so I hope you'll go check out the beginning if you're only joining now, because there's probably a lot that you missed along the way. And it's all important, especially yesterday's episode and today's, to build as we go. So Terri said on a KGW8 interview, but they just showed her quote. Okay, so she spoke to the media saying, if I could do anything differently, I would keep Kyron home that day. That is something you go back again and again. What if? Now, I find this next statement quite odd of her. She's like, what if I didn't wear makeup that day? Well, did you? Because you went to gym and you were in gym clothes. Did you wear makeup that day? Huh? But anyway, what if I didn't wear makeup that day? What if I took 5 minutes to put makeup on? Would that have changed everything? Contradictory there. What if I didn't wear makeup that day? What if I took 5 minutes to put makeup on? Man, is this like a riddle or what? Merritt Hill, thank you for being a member for 7 months. I'm not T-Pain says, museums are now on my radar. And you see, we can look at that at some point. Her Facebook accounts and things. And what she's doing now. So then, that is so weird. She said, would that have changed everything? Oh yeah, I'm sure that if you took 5 minutes to put some makeup on, that just would have changed everything. You probably still would have left at 8:45 because clearly you weren't staying to walk around on family day to see the exhibits until turn. Clearly you had other plans, but this makes no sense. She said, would that have changed the butterfly effect? The butterfly effect. I remember that. That was a weird movie. Did you guys ever watch that? The butterfly effect. What is the concept of butterfly effect? The butterfly effect is the idea that small things can have non-linear impacts on a complex system. The concept is imagined with a butterfly flapping its wings and causing a typhoon. Of course, a single act like the butterfly flapping its wings cannot cause a typhoon. Is she trying to be typhoon queen over here? Does she think she's a butterfly? What if I transform myself by putting on makeup? Would this have changed everything? Would it have changed the butterfly effect? She also said the murder for hire plot was completely bogus. He, the landscaper, had an axe to grind with me. Not great choice of words, okay? For, she needs a PR manager. Because he had made forward advances to me, and I told him to leave. She said in an interview, done years later, that we could look at tomorrow. I might actually just transcribe it. That's going to be easier to really look at the statement she made, right? The point is, she said that he... The landscaper, now that's why I said that sounds like Letitia as well, like Eduardo. But this landscaper existed, but Eduardo was apparently also someone in Letitia's neighborhood, okay? It was like handyman. But moving on, the landscaper, she said one day he's like arriving there on Mother's Day. And I find it so weird, the statement she makes. She says he arrived on Mother's Day. He really wanted to see me on Mother's Day. I'm like, ew. We don't want to see that sexting if there is any. No thank you, ma'am. Please not. So anyway, he really wanted to see me on Mother's Day. And how do we know that Mother's Day is so important to her? All I'm going to say is that on Mother's Day, Kane bought her a candy apple red Ford GT Mustang. She really likes Mother's Day, this one. Okay? I'm just saying. So she says the landscaper was there on Mother's Day. He really wanted to be with her. Inappropriate. What? And he was just wearing cologne Now to her, cologne is like the reddest flag in the room. Like, oh my word, he was wearing cologne? Okay. I don't even socialize with people out there, and I wear freaking perfume every day. I want to smell nice for you guys. Even though I'm not there with you, you know? So the point is, she's like, oh my word, he came over, he's wearing cologne. And she said, I thought he was going to SA me right there in front of my daughter. She said that. Literally, those words came out of her own mouth. Now, she says the murder for hire plot was completely bogus. And that was... Ooh, and I got to jog my own memory. It was a few weeks before. 5 to 7 months before, if I remember correctly. 7 months before Kyron went missing. But then I say there, what about the one in 1990 though? Was that also completely bogus? Because there's another one, you guys. Just when you think there might not be another one. Oh, there's another one. B Nana says, there she goes playing the victim. Always about Terri. Always. And people clearly just want her. Especially on Mother's Day. I'm like, no, no, no. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know more. I don't want to know more. I do, but I don't. About her dealings with the landscaper, who she took to a restaurant, by the way, in the months leading up to Kyron's disappearance. Kane is convinced that that murder for hire plot has something to do with Kyron's disappearance as well. And she tells the landscaper, my husband, he's abusive, okay? And he always carries around $10,000 of cash and a laptop. And so it'll be really easy to make it look like a mugging. And the 1991, oh yes, when she was 20. 20? And her boyfriend was 18. Same thing. She set up the same sort of thing. Anyway, she took him to a restaurant, the landscaper. I don't know what kind of restaurant, but wow. And the landscaper's brother, super sus. I'm just going to say, if you want to go down that rabbit hole. So much to discuss. Super sus. Okay. I don't know what the landscaper was doing that day. But what I do know is that these grand jury indictments, he was subpoenaed. He was there testifying. He was saying all sorts of things. All this. This is how this came out, right? Yes. Cologne smelling like grass. Yeah. SNS says, I encourage those with doubts about Terri's hatred of Kyron to read Desiree's book. Yes. Okay. And so, in 2012, Desiree filed a $10 million civil lawsuit against Terri. I mean, she was like, enough is enough, right? And this was only 2 years later, you guys. Now we're 13 years later. She filed this $10 million civil lawsuit against Terri, accusing her of kidnapping, and sought a court order compelling Terri to tell her where Kyron is, if he's alive, or where his body is, if he's dead. Now remember, again, I'm just going to give an example of another case. Remember Lori Vallow? She was out there, you know, in Hawaii. Oh, well, Terri also went to Hawaii. I think she got married there as well. Anyway, the point is, with Lori Vallow, they also served her with papers of like, produce your children. Where are they? Are they dead? Are they alive? Do you know where they are? Just show us where they are. Come on now. That's kind of what happened here, right? Damn, for 20 months. Heaven Reigns member for 20 months. Oh my gosh. It's going to be my channel's 2-year anniversary, birthday, 2-year channel birthday soon. I think it's on June 26th, I think. We'll see. I'll double check that. Thank you so much for being a member. You were there from the start. Okay, so then Desiree dropped the suit a year later because the judge said that it could impede investigations. Now, the most interesting thing I got out of all of this was like, firstly, the people who are part of Terri's fan club, there's about 3,000 of them because we know she got 3,000 signatures when she had a petition going to change her name because she was just being, you know, harassed so much and bullied so much because she carried the name Horman. When the judge denied her twice to change her name, what did she do? She got married. Now she's Vazquez. So she came up with, oh my word, I can't wait to hear about number 3. I need to know for tomorrow about number 3. Okay? We're going to be chatting. I need to know that one because I know about 2. Wow. Okay. 3. Oh my gosh. You see, you guys, you see. So anyway, the point is, Terri's fan club, they say, you see, like I've seen nasty comments towards Desiree, like, oh, and then you dropped the civil suit. But yeah, because it could impede the investigation. Why? Why? The judge noted that Horman, as in Terri, is a prime suspect in the criminal investigation into Kyron Horman's disappearance from Skyline School in June 2010. Yes, those were some interesting words because we don't hear much from what happened, obviously not, at those grand jury indictments when people are subpoenaed and testifying for 2 hours or more and saying all. We don't see all that. We see some things come out here and there. We hear a few things, but not much, right? But what I heard there was, oh damn, like back off from the civil suit because, you know, she's a prime suspect. So I'm sure they're working behind the scenes, which is why Desiree in one of the interviews said, "Don't sleep, Terri. We're coming for you." I'm like, don't sleep. Don't get a wink of sleep. Yes. Yeah. GNP says, Gizla, right, 3 girls were kidnapped, found alive after 10 years. So yes, it is possible. Okay, wait. So, 2 on Kane, 1 on her ex. Okay. So I don't know about the second one on Kane. I know about 1 on Kane, 1 on her ex in the 90s, which we're going to look at. Ooh, we need to know about the other one on Kane. Wow. Yes, I'm not T-Pain. You know what really turns Red Squirrel Rhonda on? Landscaping and changing her name. Why is I'm not T-Pain saying that? Because when she got that very special candy apple red Ford GT for Mother's Day. She's so busy with Mother's Day. Oh my gosh. So awkward. Anyway, when she got that for Mother's Day, the license plate was RDSQRL. Red Squirrel. That's her nickname. And I don't think after yesterday's messages, we don't want to know why. So Miss Young claims, so Desiree claims that, so Kyron's mom claims that Kyron's stepmom intentionally interfered with her parental rights and that Terri Hormon inflicted severe emotional distress. Miss Young seeks the return of her son and seeks compensatory damages. Assuming that Kyron's alive, the plaintiff is entitled to the return of her son. If Kyron's dead, the plaintiff is entitled to the return of his remains. Now, see here. The haters were like, you know what, this is such a money grab. What is Desiree trying to do? And she said any money that she gets from this suit is going straight to charity to find missing children. But of course, they're going to say that she just took drastic action, do something, right? Because she was just not getting answers at all. So then, from that, the judge has said, delaying this aspect of the case for some time is significantly less prejudicial to both sides, Cantor wrote in his 7-page order filed in Multnomah County Circuit Court. The court does not have any particular length of time for his delay in mind at this juncture. The judge has asked attorneys for each side to consider 3 questions and report back to him. This was before the suit was dropped, right? 1. Should the court require Horman to file an answer to Young's complaint which admits or denies the allegations, or simply allow Horman to litigate as if she denied those allegations? If so, by when and for how long? 2. The plaintiff should be required to establish reasonable suspicion or probable cause that Horman has done what is alleged through other evidence before Horman is required to answer oral or written deposition questions under oath. 3. Should Young be required to serve written deposition questions for court review before taking Horman's oral deposition? So they were very thorough with this, and hence they were like, maybe it's best to just dismiss the case, drop the civil suit as this investigation goes on, which tells me there's a lot of hope that they're just getting closer and closer and closer every year to finding Kyron, finding answers, to trial time. So once attorneys for both sides consider these questions, Cantor wrote that he will meet with the lawyers to form a schedule and plan for a civil case. Kyron Horman's World Soldiers bought the moderators some coffees. Thank you so much. Okay. Is she lurking? Aaron says, oh, I'm sure she's lurking. Hi, Terri. Oh, man. So when Kyron's stepdad, Tony, told everyone, right, as when Kyron went missing, immediately Desiree, Tony, got in the car. Terri was surprised by that. She's like, wait, what? You going to come over? Oh, wow, okay. So I don't know why she was surprised, but she's like, wow. Tony, the detective, told them all, the blended family, the 4 parents are sitting in a room, okay? A mom, a dad, a stepmom, and stepdad, they're sitting there. Tony says, listen, guys, what you can expect is your lives are no longer going to be private, okay? Investigators would want to know every detail about your lives. They want your phones. They're going to look at your social media. You got to be an open book now, okay? Because this is about finding Kyron. The only one out of the 4 parents that did not like this was Terri. They said she bristled, is how they described that. She did not like that. And what did she do? Get burner phones. Now we know. She really didn't like it. She's like, get a burner phone. Man. Virgo said, I'll never be able to look at a red squirrel again and not see Terri, our host, by a pin a golf ball. Oh, man. So, she was also the only one that failed her polygraph test. And what does she say the problem was? She says she's deaf in her left ear. Therefore, she could not understand the questions. Therefore, she failed. But she failed one, walked out of another, then failed another one. All the other parents passed their polygraph tests. She did not. When asked in an interview, well, what question did you fail? The question she failed is, was Kyron in the truck with you? She says obviously she's going to fail that one because obviously he was in the truck with her when she took him to school. But the question is specifically obviously about after school. That's the one she keeps failing, that question. Was Kyron in the truck with you? Jennifer, good question. You say, I know this is an old case. What happened to bring this back in the news? Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. They post, Stacy runs a lot of the pages, the Facebook page. There's also a missing Kyron Horman page, Kyron Horman's World Soldiers, and Stacy from Kyron Horman's World Soldiers have been posting a lot on Twitter, right? And so, a lot of Grizzlies, there's almost 25,000 Grizzlies there on Twitter, started tagging me in it and saying, hey, can you look at this? Look at this. This could be interesting. Look at this, right? And yes, I looked and I'm like, wait, what? I mean, I've heard of the case, but I've never deep dived it. And I'm like, whoa. You know, I started about a month ago, like going down the rabbit hole and like, whew, oh man, oh my word. And just the more I go and the more I find, and I'm still like, what? So I would say that I think it's their efforts, the family's efforts. And remember, June 4th, 2010 is when Kyron was last seen. And now we're on June 19th. So what happened this year? What happened this year on June 4th? A car wash to raise funds to help to search still for Kyron, for private investigators, for all the funds they need for flyers and things like that. So the car wash was also put out on social media. There were little news clips about it and things like that I saw that the mainstream media also did. So that's how. It's because of their efforts, because they never give up. Okay, yeah, you're like, wow, 25K Grizzlies. Yes, duck, on Twitter. They're all over there. So, and that's where there's a lot of news there all the time. So then, okay, so we've got that. I also don't know why Terri's so busy with ears. And I say that because I went deaf for 2 years, you guys, for real. I went deaf for 2 years. It's a whole thing. It's a whole story. We're not going to go down there. But the point is, I didn't even learn sign language. I could lip read though. So if you've got one ear, my one ear is actually still pretty deaf, okay? Even though my hearing was mostly restored. Point is, that was when I was 16. I didn't even learn sign language. But here, apparently, Terri's claiming that not only is she deaf in one ear, only one, okay, but then she can't understand the questions, except she can because she knows which one she fails at the whole time. But she also claims to have taught Kyron sign language from when he was 6 months old. I would like to challenge you to teach your 6-month-old guys sign language. It's probably like 2 things, you know? I agree, I'm not T-Pain. Because you all head over there. I agree. Get on Twitter. Okay, so her talking about the ear and then the sign language and then saying that her little daughter, you know, she's struggling with the ear. She's very busy with the ear thing. I don't know if she's got like ear trauma or what's going on there. Point is, okay, Terri still cannot explain. She cannot give an answer. What were you doing? Where exactly were you at? If you weren't on Savi Island, where were you? Tell us. Do some map time with us. Where were you driving around between, for those 90 minutes, from when you left the Fred Meyer's and the dry cleaner and apparently a craft store, and when you came back to go to the gym? Where were you? There's unaccounted for time. She doesn't answer that. When her friend is asked, I plead the fifth. Doesn't answer. But her friend, Dede, says, I know that she's not involved or whatever. How do you know? If you were actually at work all the time and you didn't really leave and it's a big property, how do you know for a fact? Oh, damn. T3 says, baby sign. I've actually seen some videos. That's true. Baby sign is a real industry. Oh, man. Okay. So, Terri got the best and most expensive attorney in Oregon, Steve Howes. Kane could not understand where she suddenly got $350K to pay for this attorney. Her parents helped her. Now, I don't know, she said they grew up, She grew up in like a middle class area with single story homes or whatever. So I don't know if the parents just like made a lot of money after that or what they do. I'm not sure. But if they do have the horse stables and stuff, okay, they got money. And if they really have money like that, to just be like, here you go, off you go. Maybe don't enable anyone who's the prime suspect, possibly. But anyway, she lawyered up with the best lawyer possible. So Terri, here's an interesting one. She had a gash on her leg, a gash, not a little scrape, a gash on her leg that she could not explain. She eventually, on her leg, right? So she was searched. This gash on her leg she couldn't explain, and she eventually said it was from lifting weights at the gym. We know she didn't gym that day because she told us she didn't gym. But when detectives see the gash, they're like, what the hell is that? She's like, well, that's just from gymming, from lifting weights. They're like, someone from the gym actually commented on that and said, you wouldn't get that. I think it's actually in here. You'd get a bruise. There we go. So something Terri did not share with Kane, the police, or Desiree, or Tony, was that somehow, somewhere, she has sustained an injury to her leg on June 4th. So it's not just like, oh, there could have been any day. On June 4th. Okay, we're going to get to those previous criminal records from when she's 20 and all that. Okay, we're going to get to it. So, on June 4th, not just any day, not like a healing bruise or something, June 4th. Her yoga pants were tight-fitting except the lower part, which was loose from her calves to her ankles. Somehow, or something, had worked its way up from the ankle. It was more than a scratch. She had a good-sized gash below the knee. She showed it to a woman at the gym when she stopped by. Oh, she showed it. She said she had dropped her weight. So again, it's like, like, look at this picture. You see this picture? I took this picture. Ah, she's showing some woman at the gym. Look at my leg. You see my leg? You see that gash? Yeah, it's from lifting weights. You see, and from all the true crime we know, potential suspects slip up by doing this kind of stuff. They just can't help themselves. They just talk and keep talking, and they must keep talking. Please keep talking. Clear your name. Say more. Do more interviews. That would be great. Because we all want to know, where the hell were you driving around? It would help for map time, right? Maybe we've got our map time all wrong. And the gash, I don't know what's going on there. But they say a gym injury might have caused... Okay, wait. But as the woman later told the police, so I'm glad. If you see something, say something. This lady from the gym is like, damn, that was weird. I remember that from June 4th. So that's one of the tips that came in. She had this gash on her leg, which tells me that maybe she went to shower. Maybe she just really went to the gym and showed some random lady a gash. Look at my gash. Anyway, only Terri knew how she'd gotten the injury on a day that she claimed she'd spent driving the back roads trying to lull Kayla to sleep. Kim Burley says, and she never mentioned it when it happened or got first aid. Yeah. Oh, Cheryl says that area of Oregon is blackberry fields. They give nasty cuts. Interesting. Okay. So continuing on. When Kane filed for divorce and got a restraining order against Terri, she actually went to the gym and asked if her daughter was there in the daycare. I think he left the house on June 26th and got a restraining order, filed for divorce and all that. I think she was there on June 28th. Oh, there we go. Okay. Kyron Horman's World Soldier says her parents had a lien on their house for a very long time. Jay, her son, said she got lots of help from family. Oh, his son talks too. Okay. Okay, so on June 28th, I think this was, she goes to the gym. She's like, hello, is my daughter in the daycare? And the gym manager's like, no. And she tells this gym manager, oh, well, if she was, I would have taken her. So Kane said he attempted to have his wife held in contempt for violating the emergency restraining order granted June 28th that she tried to abduct her 20-month-old daughter from a gym daycare after this emergency restraining order was granted. Oh yeah, that's illegal what she was trying to do, right? Gene P says, the missing time in Miles reminds me of Barry Morphy case. Angel Ray, I can only imagine. Okay, TT Cross says, I taught all three of my kids basic sign language starting at age 3 months, and it's really is simple and easy for them. Okay. Well, if it is a thing, if it's like quite a normal thing, then I don't even know then why Terry's bragging about it so much. Her first husband says, yeah, she was really proud of that. Her son, who was 16 at the time, said that Terri was the first to notice, because this is how Terri would talk. She was the first to notice that Kyron needed glasses. And she also taught him sign language from when he was 6 months old. Yeah, because you're already hooking up with Desiree's husband. Well, she was 4 or 5 months pregnant. So I was like 6 months old. Like, oh yeah, because you moved in immediately. And she told a neighbor, someone across the road, that she moved in, just to help Kane. She's just so nurturing. She was just helping out with the kids. Meanwhile, it was like a full-blown affair that ended up in divorce. Maggie Tinogo, welcome to membership. So yes, we've got that as well, that she was going to try to abduct her daughter. So we get to who is Terri. Just so that we know, for information. This is all publicly available information. It's from the book, it's from articles, it's from interviews that she's done. It's out there, okay? We're not doing anything but sharing those bullet points, okay? Oh my word. Kyron Horman's World Soldier says, I have a screenshot of Terri from just the other day saying she didn't have a gash on her leg. She likes to deny things that... everything, actually. Anyway, so Terri was born on March 14th, 1970 in Grass Valley, California, and was adopted by 2 elementary school teachers, Carol and Larry Moulton. She excelled in sports at school, basketball, track, shot put, discus. Apparently, Larry was like a track junkie is how they described him, and that he was also the dude that would, they get your marks, on your marks, get set, go, the gun that they shoot there at the track events. Yeah, he was that dude. She said on Facebook that she wanted to be a teacher since she was 7 years old. Now, I know this is just one of those cliched quotes people say. It's an ugly quote when they say those who can't do teach. But the thing is, she didn't even teach. She never could get a job really as a teacher. 2 substitute jobs, that's it. So, man, I don't know what to say about that. Okay, sorry for the shade there for a second. She grew up in Roseburg in a middle-class neighborhood of single-story homes. Her parents had no other children and spoiled her a lot. They have given her lots of money, is what they say. Clearly, also for the lawyer, so we know that's true. She ran a storage facility with her first husband, Ron Tarver Jr., and they bought a Chubby's restaurant franchise. Now, I'm telling you all this as well, in case it gives us clues, because this lady knows storage units very well. If she's running a storage unit facility, maybe they need to check. I'm sure they have. It's 13 years later. But you never know what you could say that might help. Could jog someone's memory, huh? Check any storage units listed under her name. The name of her favorite mystery novel characters, I would say. Fake names that they used to buy the burner phone. All kinds, right? All kinds. So then, she ran a storage facility with her first husband, and they bought a Chubby's restaurant franchise. When the restaurant failed, why did I tell you about this? It's because, well, it shows us how she is. We can see it. When cornered, it's the poor me syndrome, or deflect and blame someone else. So she blamed the franchise for them failing, sued them, and the company actually settled by paying out $250,000. Yes. P.T. Noderman says, Chubby's, what case had that again? It was a recent one that we covered in Florida, where an ex-boyfriend stabbed his ex-girlfriend in the parking lot outside Chubby's Wings. Yes. Good memory from you, PT. So she said she could not have kids, but then in 1994, her son was born. Now, I'm just saying that because she does it twice, at least, because she tells the hubby number one she can't have kids, but then bam, then her son's born. She also told Kane, no more children, we're done, no, we're not going to have children, bam, her daughter's born. I'm like, oh, damn, okay. Anyway, it can happen, but she's already telling hubby number one, I know, can't have kids, okay, but then your son was born. In 1995, so a year later, she divorced her husband. She gained custody of her son, and her husband paid child support. She moved back in with her parents and worked at McDonald's. She met her second husband, Richard Ecker, at a Fred Meyer, where he worked. Yes, she likes Fred Meyer stores, and she met hubby number 2 there. Maybe she was there at Fred Meyer that day looking for a new hubby. She went to 2 of them, remember. Anyway, she showered his family with lavish gifts. They say that when they arrive back from a trip, at the airport, she's there with like bouquets of flowers and balloons and just going over the top. I recently did a course with Laura Richards. Check out Crime Analyst if you don't know who Laura Richards is, or thelaurarichards.com, on coercive control and DV and stalking harassment. And in all that, Laura, one of the points she made is that charm is a choice. It's manipulative usually, and especially this type of over-the-top charm. I'm seeing a lot of warning signs of a coercive controller and a DV aggressor when I see this case and the actions that Terri's taken. It just, it is what it is. So anyway, she also made a list for his parents saying 10 things I know about you. And they were like, wow, it was very accurate. She knows us better than we know ourselves. So she's very observant. And she likes to dominate clearly by being like, I know you better than you know yourself type of thing. You know what I mean? So they're like, that's so sweet, but also weird. Anyway, moving on. So then she had a bachelor's and master's degree in education, but never got a job as a teacher. She only had 2 temp positions as a substitute teacher. And did she try to run the show? Yes, indeed. We'll hear more about it. People who have known her throughout her life describe her as having immense charm, being a great actress, being supportive at times and other times very self-centered. I'm hearing coercive control. I don't know about you. That's what I'm hearing. If you know about it, you'll know. If you watch Dirty John, you'll know. If you are a patron or a member, you'll know. We discussed that a lot. You guys helped me do my homework for those courses too. So, and I'm speculating that. Terri liked making rules for others to follow. Her and Kane fought frequently about disciplining Kyron, because if he didn't follow her orders, Terri would say, he needs to go to his room for the night. He cannot play TV games, he cannot be here, he cannot do anything but go to his room. Her own son said that, he had to read for 16 hours a day, and she was pushing all the school performance on him. And he said school was boring, and he didn't do well in school, and maybe that's also why she kicked him out. Yes. Kat says, I really hope. The Cesar shaking in fear because G's on the case now. On the case from the Netherlands. Okay, lots of eyeballs looking, right? Okay. Sorry, I just want to click on this one. It went by so fast. Kyron Horman's World Soldier says Kane does have custody of their daughter. Terri had a reunification plan, but chose silence over her own child. We looked at some of that yesterday, you guys, so check that out as well. But yes, indeed, she just walked away from her own daughter. So the son chucked out. Kyron missing. She's the last person to see him from what we know. And she walks out of her daughter's life and doesn't even look back. So there's that. That's just horrible. I feel really sorry for all her kids. And of course, for Kyron. Okay, so then, immense charm is a red flag. Okay, so write that down. It can be used for... Manipulators use it a lot. The love bombing. You know what? That's what she was doing. You guys know what love bombing is. She was love bombing that family. And the family of that second husband said, well, she was doing this because she wanted our son. Yes, indeed. Okay, so there's a picture of her. Yeah, she's always looking for a new hubby. So Chuck Ecker, second hubby's dad, said she did things to impress people. She wanted to be more or less in control. Everywhere she went, when people describe her, they say, she really wanted to be in control. She really tried to run the show. She made a lot of rules. She likes control. All the time. Control. Which again is why I say coercive is the first word to put before that. Okay, I won't say it again. Moving on. So, yes. Terri is always looking for a new hubby. Now she's got one now. Man, I wonder how his experience is. How's it going? Okay, so 2 years after marriage, Richard, hubby number 2, adopts Terri's son from, her first marriage. Ron, hubby number 1, agrees to give up his parental rights because he was struggling financially. So Terri just really gave him no option, really. In March of 1998, Terri was hit by a car by a drunken driver in Springfield. When you hear it, well, we already heard about it, the historic alcohol abuse problems. I'm like, were you the one drinking though? Were you really hit by a drunk driver? Maybe. But were you also drinking? Were you also drunk? Or were you the drunk one? And you did the poor me thing there. You know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, she was hit by a car by a drunken driver in Springfield. She had crippling migraines and struggled for a year. And then she made her husband, I'm just going to add in, she made her husband feel very sorry for her. So his parents were upset because they were still young, right? They wanted him to go and further his education and invest in himself. But instead, he took all his money and poured it into Terri. So she then, when she's having all these migraines and she's struggling, she then goes to study, okay, and she got her bachelor's degree in education. Then she became a substitute teacher. And as a substitute teacher, a colleague said she had those kids walking down the hall in a straight line, not talking. And it's interesting that when she describes the very last time she saw Kyron, he was walking straight. She said it's like a straight shot is the word she used, which I'm like, well, okay, lady. It's a straight shot down the hall. You can just see him walking straight, like she's just seeing the back of his head. And I'm like, okay. And yeah, the substitute teacher from way back says she had those kids walking down the hall in a straight line, not talking. When she divorced hubby number 2, okay, she got primary custody of her son. So remember, she had her son with hubby number 1. Then she gets married to hubby number 2. Then she makes that one, he can't afford child support, so he gives up all parental rights. She gets divorced from hubby number 2, who's now legally adopted her son. And so she gets primary custody and requests that he increases his payments in child support. It was something like $169 and ended up being like $550. He then went to see her in person because it's like, damn, like she is being unfair here. This is like half my salary just about. So he went to her house, okay? And he went to see her in person to ask nicely, can you just please cut me some slack? She smiled and agreed, okay, no problem, cut you some slack. Then she jumped on the phone and called the Washington County Sheriff's Office to report him for harassing her. And he was not able to see James again. Sorry, I wrote his name there, James. J. Not in South Africa, tea trees, migraine. Remember, guys, I'm South African, living in the Netherlands. Sometimes I say things a little different. Okay, so moving on. So then, she was the only parent who wanted daily updates from Kyron's teacher about his behavior. So there was like a whole system at the school where they gave out, you know, there's like a, it's almost like, it reminds me of football, when it's like there's a red card, you know. It was like that. There were cards. There's like a green card, a yellow card, I think an orange one and a red one, whatever. But she wanted to know every day what kind of cards he got. Some were for good behavior, some were for bad behavior. And she, every day, the teachers were like, damn, she was annoying. She had apparently, from OregonLive.com, cracked down on Kyron when he had bad days at school. So if he came home, if she found out that he had a red card, which Desiree said, and, you know, Desiree and Kane and people that knew Kyron said that he wasn't a naughty kid. I'm talking about when he was 7, right? He wasn't a naughty kid. He was just, yeah, tomato. Sorry, Ange. Sometimes, as boys do in groups, they do naughty things together and then they all get the red card. It's not like he's getting the red card by himself, you know what I mean? He's joining in the fun. That's all it was. He was actually very shy, quite introverted. So, anyway, when she found out he got a red card, she cracked down on him. I don't know what that exactly means. Kane described it as no room for error. They fought about that a lot because she was incredibly hard on Kyron. Okay, yeah, Brendy says, I hate those behavior color cards. So then, she emailed Desiree, the stepmom. Emails the mom. Desiree set up so many boundaries to be like, okay, you, my husband, cheated on me with you. You then moved in. Then Kane and Desiree's hubby number 1 tricked her into basically giving up custody. She thought she comes back, it's going to be shared custody again. And there was a whole battle there, right? We looked at that yesterday. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out yesterday's stream or remind yourself. The point is, there's boundaries in place because, of course, Terri is not her favorite person. But Desiree is trying so hard throughout all these years to be like, I'm just going to be polite because Desiree is very kind. Like you could tell if you watch all the press conferences and interviews, she's very kind. Her emotions come across as extremely authentic. Check it out, right? So the thing is, Terri emailed Desiree to vent about Kyron's teacher and why she should have her job. Now again, I will say, and annoy the person who doesn't like the comparison, who else did we hear do that? It was Letitia. Letitia was also, she was like special needs, education, substitute teacher, same pattern, but then also her saying that she should have the principal's job. She should have the teacher's job. So yeah, we see just that again. Anyway, in 2005, Terri was gymming obsessively and she entered a bodybuilding competition, placing 4th. Obviously, she wanted to win, we can gather, because Kane said during that time she was so irritable. She didn't compete again, and she started drinking instead. So I'm just going to fill in what I'm thinking, my opinion. She's such a sore loser. She's so highly competitive that if she doesn't win, cop out, start drinking. And when she does that and gains some weight, because she lost an extraordinary amount of weight in minimal time, like, whoa, those pictures, it's quite hectic. What she achieved in that minimal time, she came forth. But when she starts drinking, she packs on some weight. Of course, that would happen after all that. Then she starts projecting that on Kane, saying, you're fat shaming me and you're calling me this and I'm not good enough. And he's just like, what the hell? I'm so tired of you complaining about this. Oh, my word. So anyway, the thing is, note the red flag. She starts drinking again. So there's that, right? In 2003, yes, Terri earned a Master's of Art Education degree from Pacific University in Forest Grove and was an on-call teacher for the Hillsborough School District, remaining available as a sub until 2006. The Teacher Standards and Practices Commission said she maintained her basic teaching license until March 2007. Then she took a break. So you see, she's also like really, since she's 7, wants to be a teacher, but you substituting and should take a lot of breaks. You know what I mean? Unable to land a teaching job, she returned to restaurant work, taking a job as an assistant manager at Red Robin in Sherwood, where she worked between December 2005 and August of 2006. And there again, we have an account of someone, one of the clients, that knew her from that restaurant, that said she was always in control. And I'm like, we just hear a lot of control. Yes. We have to compare them. It outlines the parallels and demonstrates the similar red flags. Exactly. Are we saying that she's exactly like Letitia? No, in context. In context. We're looking at patterns. We're trying to learn from all these cases, right? Okay. So, she got caught drunk driving on July 10th, 2005. And pleaded guilty to reckless endangerment. Her son was 11 at the time and in the car with her. In 2005, that's when she started going to the gym to compete in the bodybuilding. I listed again so you can just see. Right? So she's doing the bodybuilding, giving up drinking, gets caught for reckless endangerment. Kane said he noticed a sharp shift in her behavior when she was doing the bodybuilding, saying she became self-centered, short-tempered. She consumed over-the-counter stimulants such as fat burners in high doses. On July 10th, 2005, she was, again there, pulled over by police on Interstate 5 near Woodburn just after 6 p.m. Giving a breath test, she registered 0.15. Under Oregon law, it's illegal to drive with a blood alcohol level, a BAL, which we just learned from the Megan E. Mirowitz case as well. We talked a lot about that. But blood alcohol level of 0.08% or more. In 2008, she suffered from postpartum depression after having her daughter, and Kane said she would lose her patience with her son and Kyron. So interesting, see the pattern there from hubby number 1. She's like, can't have children, and she has a child, and then 1 year later they're divorced. I think it's the same thing that she's struggling with there, right? Yeah, you guys are like, Roy's. So Terri told her friends that Kane was fat shaming her. Remember, she also told the landscaper that he's abusing her and all that he controlled her spending. Kane later piped up, oh my word, I can't believe she's saying I'm controlling her spending. She's spending recklessly. She was spending so much money. Like, please, you're bankrupting us completely. So now she's like, he's controlling my spending. In February of 2009, she then sent her son to live with her parents in Roseburg. FYI, he was camping with his dad when Kyron went missing. We saw that from yesterday. Oh, this is the same. Wait. Oh, Terri pleaded guilty to reckless endangerment for driving under the influence with James and 11 in the car. She paid nearly $600 fine and completed a diversion program. She later admitted to Kane that she'd been drinking behind his back to put herself to sleep. So, it's one of those, just a little nightcap to put myself to sleep. But it sounded with a blood alcohol level a lot worse than that, right? So Carly says, I also urge anyone who lives in her state or city to start putting up missing flyers of Kyron to remind her this is never going to be over. That's a good idea too. Yes. So she admitted to Kane, yes, okay, she's been drinking behind his back to put herself to sleep. The relationship had many ups and downs, but Kane said after the drunken driving arrest that her attitude and home life improved. Terri, Kane, and the kids moved to Northwest Sheltered Nook home, to the home that, they were at when Kyron went missing, that Terri had found in 2007. 3 months later, the couple got married in their bathing suits in a small ceremony presided over by Kane's dad on a beach in Hawaii, which is why you see I mentioned Lori Vallow. Just like, wow, okay. So then, what are we talking about? Pisces? I'm Piscean, yeah. What are we talking about? So, in their bathing suits, got married in Hawaii. She worked as that assistant manager, and the customer said she always seemed to be in control. When Terri got pregnant, Kane was shocked. He thought they weren't going to have children. She suffered from postpartum depression. Sorry, I've mentioned a few things twice there, but I hope you're getting the picture. Now, here's an interesting little bit from, I'm sorry, Janet's like a bathing suit wedding. Yes. So, here's a little snippet from the book as well, Boy Missing. Kyron's greatest fear was being lost and not being able to find his way home. You see that? In the months leading up to his disappearance, Desiree thought Terri was messing with his head and might be enlisting the help of her son John. According to Desiree, John, they changed the name of his son, so we just call him Jay, right? Jay in the book to protect him. According to Desiree, Terry's son took Kyron for a walk in the woods on Kane's 5-acre property, then pretended they were lost and he didn't know how to get home. Kyron was so scared, Desiree said later. He had nightmares for weeks. On another day, John and Kyron were playing at the old shed. Kyron frequently went in it to feed Bootsy, the cat. John got on the roof and it collapsed around Kyron. Desiree felt that Terri was trying to scare and intimidate Kyron. This is a picture she posted on Facebook as well of Kyron. I saw it was her, like as in Terri, Kane, their little daughter, and Kyron. I think there was one other boy there as well, actually. One of Kyron's friends, I think. And I don't know what you feel from this picture. It's probably just like, take a picture, right? But to me, I don't know, he just doesn't look like his happy self that we see him as with his mom, right? The pictures are different. I know it's just one picture, but I'm saying, and she uploaded this picture, just remember that. She as in Terri. Elf, thank you for your sticker. That's so cute. For your $4 super sticker. Is that like a little... That's so cute, little fox. Okay. T3 says, oh my goodness, I'm losing track of how many scapegoats or real suspects are in the web now. You'll see. Sorry. Okay, there we go. So, yes. We have that as well. I hope you guys are following. Exactly. Miss Wales, there you go. I'm waiting for someone to say that. Well, surely Kyron wouldn't leave school alone then or go off into the woods. Apparently, it also started wetting his bed again. Struggling with that. Which can oftentimes be a sign of trauma. Yes. So, that's interesting too. So here we've got a mugshot from December 23rd, 2016. Kyron went missing June 4th, 2010. So this is now at least two mugshots, 2 or 3 later. Let's go back to 1990 though. In 1990, Sean Rea was Terry's boyfriend at the time. He was 18, she was 20. This was her first murder for hire plot in Roseburg. So apparently they were sitting in a park on a bench eating Chinese food. Some guy comes up with a gun and Terry immediately looks at him and says, he's here for you. But then the guy got scared and ran away. And the boyfriend was like, what in the hell was that? And he broke up with Terry because he knew in that moment he grasped, what was going on. Those are the only details I have. But he broke up with her and he's like, whoa. Yeah, she's not well. Where's that other one? Did we talk about it yesterday? I have it in my head, but tell me if we talked about it yesterday of her. I think we talked about it yesterday. Holding a knife to, maybe it's coming up. One of her boyfriend's necks. Okay, moving on. Let's see if it comes up. I've got it somewhere. So in 1998 to 2004, there were 9 traffic infractions. 2005, there was a DUI conviction. She was sentenced to 12 months probation, 90-day suspension of her driver's license, and she had to attend alcohol counseling program. So this goes way back. 2010, Kyron went missing. In 2015, she moved to Northern California. In 2016, she was arrested 3 times. 2016, arrested 3 times for gun theft, domestic violence charges, and stolen vehicle charges. And this, to me, this is when the mask is off. She's very angry here. Yes, look at all of that. So that's a lot of red flags. Oh, here's the story. This is what I was talking about. Okay, here we go. On November 28th, 2016, Joseph Cristobal, who described himself as Moulton's domestic partner, filed for a temporary restraining order. Oh, another one. Okay, but this was in 2016, right? In 2016, and another one, yes? Remember, Kane also filed for that, for the murder for hire plot, and apparently, now today we learned this, there were 2 murder for hire plots on Kane and 1 on that boyfriend from 1990. So, November 20th, 2016, the year she got arrested those 3 times, Joseph Cristobal, who described himself as Moulton's domestic partner, filed for a temporary restraining order against Terri. I'm fearing for my life. Same thing Kane said. I don't even know what she's capable of doing. The Sacramento man said that he had only recently learned about the Kyron Horman case. Terri had told him that she was the victim of corrupt police in Oregon. She told Dr. Phil the same thing. This is, I agree. Kyron Horman's Will Sauter says, you can tell the pictures Terri took of Kyron and how he wasn't happy. And when Desiree or Kane took a pic, he's so much happier. I've always pointed out. He's glowing. He's smiling in all those pictures. I mean, he looks so happy, yes. Especially the pictures with his mom, right? Sure, you can definitely tell. I agree with you. So see, this guy that she dated, that's what I'm saying. I wonder how it's going with this husband she's got now, you know? Because this is like a long history from 1990, like murder for hire, then there's all these DUIs and alcohol charges, and then in 2016, so 2010, Kyron goes missing. In 2016, there's gun theft, there's car theft, there's domestic violence. So he said, I'm fearing for my life. I don't even know what she's capable of doing. And he didn't even know yet about the Kyron Horman case. Terri told him that she was the victim of corrupt police in Oregon. He said that she held a kitchen knife to his face and threatened him should he ever talk to law enforcement. Now we understand why people are saying that they bullies, they being her and whoever she's associated with now, in the neighborhood. There's some people in the chat that live like right there. So yes, thank you for your emails. So then, Cristobal was granted a 2-year restraining order against her. In December 2016, Terri was arrested near San Francisco for taking a vehicle without the owner's consent. She was booked into the Marin County Jail, where she posted a $25,000 bail and was released. Her luck held when prosecutors in the Marin County District Attorney's Office reviewed the evidence and determined that they could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she had stolen a car. No charges were filed. So, I don't know if you guys know the podcast True Crime Garage, but they said she's like the Teflon stepmom, like nothing sticks. Like all this racks up and just nothing sticks. She keeps on getting bail. They can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she's stolen the car and all of that. Miss Wales says, would her son have had anything to do with luring Kyron from the school? No, he was at a scout camp with his father. He was busy camping with his dad. So, they did check on that. And we talked about that yesterday as well, if you missed it. But if anyone did miss it, they've checked. The son wasn't in the area at the time. So, but to think that she's dating this guy in 2016, I don't know, they don't say his age, right? Whoa. And she's like holding a knife to his face, threatening him, don't you ever talk to law enforcement. Whoa, what is that about? Because he didn't even know about the case. Unless he brought it up. If he like researched something, he's like, whoa, is this you? And maybe that's when the threat came out. But that's interesting. Teflon Terri, anonymous. Teflon Terri. Mm-hmm. So then, that's what we have. I think, is this it for today? Let's just see. It's long, right? There's so much to look at. Oh no, we still got a little bit more. So Terri struggled to get a job following Kyron's disappearance. I mean, she struggled before too, but now she's blaming it on Kyron, basically. It's, since this disappearance and all of this media attention, I just can't get a job. Better get another husband. Okay, sorry. She did get married again. Before she first threatened this man with a knife in his face, then she found another one and married him. So she struggled to get a job following Kyron's disappearance. She twice asked a judge to change her name. either to Claire Stella Sullivan or Claire Cassile, the last name matching her birth name. She had a Facebook petition going for this name change. There were 3,000 signatures. The book from this character, Claire Stella Sullivan, is Nevada Bar, an Anna Pigeon novel. Burn. If you want to look at that, I will put it in the description box if you want to read the plot and all that kind of stuff, right? I'm not sure what to read into it, but I'm just like, man, she even wants to name herself after that character. Gosh, okay. So then, I mean, that's just so inappropriate. I'm just saying, if you're like, Judge, my name is so stigmatized because it's attached to this missing child and I was the last person to see him. Can you please change my name? Okay, what name do you want? I would like it to be the name of the lead character in one of my favorite murder mystery novels. Like, pick another. That's not a good choice. Pick another name, right? Anyway, so Terri told a Douglas County judge that she needed a new name to start over a new life without having the stigma of Horman attached to it. In 2015, Terri Moulton, she applied in 2015. She's still Terri. Well, she was Terri Hormon. Now she got married, so she's Terri Vazquez. Okay, so, but Terri Moulton got a job in Eugene, Oregon. So there's more deception because she's Terri Hormon and she's applying for jobs as Terri Moulton. She got a job in Eugene, Oregon at Shangri-La Corp. And what do? They provide residential care for adults suffering from mental illness. Again, because she's very, very nurturing, as we can hear from everyone that's encountered her. Kyron Horman's world soldier. Terri has last job. She worked as a mental health therapist. Can you believe that? She's now in the process of suing them. Oh my word. Now she's going to sue them? What? Oh man. But here what we learned is she had this job, okay? Then she quit because she recognized the impact that her employment had on the nonprofit since it had been made public. So there's that. So going to work at residential care for adults suffering from mental illness. Interesting. And they we checked out everything. She had the what qualifications did she have? They're like, she's safe around our patients. Are you sure? Anyway, so then the judge said in her 2 attempts to change her name, as long as this matter remains unsolved, unresolved, and until more information is given by you about that, it doesn't seem to be in the public's interest to change your name. Yes. So the judge, shout out to that judge. He was like, nope, not changing your name. So now this is not John Kelly, criminal profiler. This is another criminal profiler, Jim Kelly, who lived. This is the last slide for today, I think, because it's a lot, right? Tomorrow we're going to do more. Jim Kelly lived about 1.5 miles down the hill from Kyron's school. Okay, so this guy said he lives 1.5 miles down the hill at the end of a winding, secluded country lane off Cornelius Pass, said police, federal agents, K9 teams, and helicopters that scoured the area on Saturday. Now remember this, I read this yesterday and I said to you, I'm not too sure exactly where this is. We're going to clear up sometime for map time, okay, exactly where that is. But it's very close to the school is what I learned. And I'm like, oh my word. So they do say Cornelius Pass and all that, but I would like to just see this dead end as well. We can do a little drive-by there. The Google man. We had 2 odd sightings of a vehicle on our road Friday. Which Friday? June 4th, right? The day Kyron went missing. Okay. Kelly said, around 3 p.m., he and a neighbor reported seeing a white pickup truck with a female driver pulled to the end of the long road. So I just want to check with Kyron Horman's World Soldiers. You were in chat here, right? It says we had 2 odd sightings of a vehicle on our road Friday. So I'm getting it right? Friday. Or was it the day before at 3 p.m.? Because here this article says Friday. I'm going to look for your answer there. But anyway, they say at 3 p.m. and I'm just trying to understand that because I'm like, well, then it means there must be 2 vehicles involved because we know Terri was at home at that time, waiting at 3:30 for the bus with Kane. Kane got home at 2, right? But this criminal profiler. You just never know who's living wherever you're driving, right? This criminal profiler is like, what? This is so weird. There's this white pickup truck with a female driver pulling to the end of the long road. Then they idle and turn around. And then at 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, a similar white pickup truck appeared, idled, and when a neighbor loosed her dogs, eased away. A, it was strange to have a car there, any car there that we didn't know. And B, it was strange to have a vehicle come down our dead-end road twice in the same day, hours after a little boy goes missing, said Kelly. That's beyond rare. Kelly said authorities have twice searched the deep ravine, creek, and railroad tracks located near the end of his street by air and on foot. That was already way back, twice in the beginning, right? I'm just looking. Okay. You guys, thank you so much. So it does say on the Friday and then it says on the Saturday. So who's that? Who's that? Is there a second vehicle? You see what I'm saying? What's going on there? Because we know they were waiting. They weren't at the school yet then. It's just weird. Kyron Horman's World Soldier says, and all these jobs knew who she was and they all still hired her. Man. So then they said about this, the searches were concentrated around Northwest Skyline Boulevard and Northwest Moreland Road, about 4 miles north of North Plains in Washington County. The Kyron Horman Task Force has shared the intelligence information with me, but unfortunately I can't share that information with the media. I'm excited that today's search will hopefully bring some closure to this case. That's what Desiree said. At the time when they're going to search there now, they were waiting for that for a long time, right? Then they said the decision to search the 2 locations today was reportedly based on investigative leads developed by the Kyron Horman Task Force. I did a little digging. This is speculation, but what I dug out was that Dede, Terri's friend, her aunt, has a house adjacent to this area. That's interesting. And remember that Dede's brother got a Ford F250 white, just like Kane's, in August of 2009. Now, I'm not saying the brother has got anything to do with this, but Dede she's got access to that car. I don't even know what car she normally drives. That would be interesting to know too, because apparently her car was there at the farm or the nursery where she was working, where she was unaccounted for almost 3 hours. So again, as we said yesterday, there is a former FBI agent. There's many interviews that I've been watching that said, I think we watched a clip of it yesterday. The point is, they said, wow, isn't that odd that Kyron goes missing and in the same time frame, Terri's travels are unaccounted for. They don't know exactly where that was. And her friend is also unaccounted for in the same time. It's just odd. It's just odd, right? Sure. Okay, so if her aunt's house is there where they were so excited, oh my word, this could bring closure to the case, this is wow. And they unfortunately didn't find anything, clearly, because we're still here 13 years later. But you just never know what they're stacking up in their files, ready for the trial one day. So that is what we have there. I just really want to see what I have on the articles here for you. What could have happened to Kyron? Just remember, please do like, share, hashtag Kyron Horman, hashtag Kyron Horman's World Soldiers, hashtag find Kyron Horman. Those are all good hashtags to use. Hashtag Grizzly True Crime is also helpful, so that people can find everything here in one place. And I do have a playlist for this case already, because I've already done multiple episodes and plan to do more. Another one tomorrow, yes. Oh, okay. Kyron Horman's World Soldier says Terri was seen days before and the day Kyron went missing. Whoa. The thing is, like with the friend Dede, right? We'll tomorrow look at her depositions and questions that she absolutely refused to answer. Just, I'm pleading the fifth, and it was like such lame questions, right? We're going to look at that tomorrow. And I also want to look at footage of her leaving the court when she was indicted by grand jury, subpoenaed, right, to testify, but then she pleaded the fifth all day long. I just want to show you that, just even for the body language, because it doesn't look like someone who's shy and like, oh crap, I can't believe that this is happening to me. I mean, she is smirking. So to me, maybe she's not involved. I don't know. Maybe Terri's not involved. I don't know. Maybe they are. But either way, they're sus, man. They would then be the usual suspects. The glaring red flags in the room, especially that Dede moved in there right after Kane moved out, and then they're like communicating on burner phones and whispering in the backyard, and just all of that is just like, what? And why was she unaccounted for on the day that Kyron went missing? And Stacy from running the social media, Kyron Horman's World Soldiers, pointed something interesting out that I thought about today, of like, wait a minute, what time do they normally arrive at work? You know, because it's like an internship for some, I think for Dede as well, right? At this nursery, at this farm, a lavender farm, okay? I've looked at, it's a beautiful place. I've looked at it. They've got a nice pool. They've got large fields and just everything there. It looks very nice. But the thing is, if you're assigned like, okay, you're going to be working on the lavender patch this week and you'll be working over there and whatever, maybe that's already organized and they know people are going to arrive and they're going to start working in the little areas, right? Now, apparently, Dede's car was there. When they realized, where is she? Like, where is she? She normally has lunch with us. Like, we actually haven't seen her for a few hours. But they said from around 11:15 is when they noticed she's unaccounted for. Dede says she was at that farm the whole day. But then where were you? Why did no one see you? Why weren't you having lunch with them like normal? Now, the thing is, how do we know that she was even there from 9 in the morning when they're supposed to start? Maybe she parked her car there and got picked up by someone. You know what I mean? Because people saw a car there, apparently. So I'm like, damn, maybe they just didn't realize. You see what I'm saying? I want to then know, of course, if if I were investigating this, I would want to know not only what the hell was Terri doing and all that drive around time and all that. What was she doing before? The day before? That morning before she took Kyron to school? There's a lot. Because we can't just assume, oh, she was unaccounted for from maybe 10 to 1. I would speculate maybe it was even earlier. Maybe a car was just parked there. Because if someone knows, then please email me, tell me. We could talk about it again tomorrow then. This is great. Share information that you know. They tell me, no, if you work there and you know, she was there. She was there at 9, but then she went unaccounted for from 10 to 1 or from 11:15 till 1. Something like that. Odd time, because that's also when Terri's unaccounted for, huh? Anyway, so yes. Alkira says, this case is reminding me so much of Gannon style. I even thought it was this case that was going to trial. All right? It's got a very similar vibe. And I really hope this goes to trial at some point. I hope that at some point we're sitting here together saying jury selection has begun and tomorrow we'll be opening statements. Imagine it, right? Brian, tentatively, for now, I've said at the same time that I went live today, which is 9 o'clock my time, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific time tomorrow. This stream will lead you to that stream, okay? So don't worry about that. We can also share the link as well. So just hold on 1 second. Beacon says, we can all change our names to Grizzly K. Please don't. I already have impersonators. Yes. Yes, it was. Pocket Leopard says, one day if Dede's aunt's property was searched. From yesterday what we read, that it was. It was searched. Yes. And also, when Terri was on an interview, Dr. Phil said, I know Dr. Phil's not for everyone. I get it. Don't get triggered by that. Just listen to what I'm saying, to the information, okay? Dr. Phil was saying, well, there are claims that you were at home alone and could have buried Kyron in the backyard. And she's like, that is just ridiculous. But I mean, that's a good point as well. But I'm sure they did check all of that, right? They would have known. Yeah, if not, then damn. Then check the yard, because she was like, that is so ridiculous. Insert evil grin, and she says herself. Those are her own words from her text messages we saw yesterday. Okay. So, just to remind everyone, call to action. Let's discuss call to action items. Number 1, like and share this episode. Leave your comments below, okay? Please leave it after you've actually watched the episode. Especially if you watched yesterday and today. So you leave thoughtful comments that we can actually all think about and be like, oh, that's a good point. You know? So there's that. Number 2, if you are a drone pilot in the area and you'd be willing to take some footage to show, that would be amazing to see from the air. And you never know. Oftentimes, I didn't know that this would happen, but oftentimes I've received emails where literally district attorneys, lead detectives, law enforcement, they watch, okay? They watch, they like the timelines and just seeing that type of stuff, right? So please do send it. If you're a drone pilot and you go out there and you look especially around that Savi Island area, a little bit more north as well. Anywhere where that cell phone tower may have falsely pinged, if it did. Maybe she was elsewhere, but then say where you were. But all around there, that could be useful as well. Please also, in the description box is the official links, okay, to follow on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok for Kyron Horman's World Soldiers, missing Kyron Horman. There's also impersonators that Desiree has, which are saying you can pay me like this or do that. There is a GoFundMe, and the other two, there's a Venmo as well. It's all in the description box. So just make sure that the ones that are there, you follow those. So call to action there. And then, thank you so much. And please make sure you subscribed with your bell on. Okay, because you don't want to miss tomorrow's episode if you are following along in this. Tomorrow, we'll do what I was intending to do today, which I will probably be transcribing the interview that Terri did. I think it was 6 years after 2016. Interesting, based on everything we know today. I'll see exactly what the date is, but I want to just go over some of the statements she made there as well. Kyron Horman's World Soldier Justice is coming. It's not if, it's when. TikTok, Terri, and as Desiree says, don't sleep. I just quickly want to see this. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the notification for tomorrow. I wanted to show you two things. Hold on. Where is it? There. Okay. Sorry for the big picture now. So there we go. I'll put these articles in the description box if you want to read some of these sources for yourself. I can't put them all there because then YouTube's going to think I'm freaking spamming all of you with articles. They don't like too many links, okay, in the description box. They'll be like, what is she trying to do? Where's she leading these people to? These types of articles. You can read more here. You can see more. Okay? So we got that, but I put all the important things in my presentation. This is Jim Kelly, not John Kelly. Shout out to John Kelly. Also a criminal profiler. This is Jim Kelly, and he was talking about the car, the white truck that they saw. Okay? And what do we have here? The book. This is the book where Terri wanted to change her name to the lead character. It's apparently this book. And then tomorrow we can look at this, which are Dede Speicher's depositions. Look there, October 5th, 2012. We'll look at this. There are 13 pages. So we'll go through some of this just to see what was asked and what she said. So that's what we plan for tomorrow, okay? I got crap tons of work before then, so I can bring it to you. These presentations, they take time. So I really appreciate it when you do like, share, when you subscribe. Those are all free ways to support the channel. If you would like to, the most direct way to support the channel is, of course, PayPal. So thank you for those, and coffee and all those things. If you want to know how to support, just go to grizzlytruecrime.com. There's a literal support page, and you can encourage me there. So thank you so much. But I do this because I'm very passionate about what I do, and I thank you for your time. Thank you for watching all of this with me. I hope it makes sense. I'm now going to do timestamps for you, as I always do, which means I'm chaptering out this entire stream so that you can easily navigate to, wait, what was said about that again? Or where is this again? You can just easily look at the chapters, the key moments throughout the stream, and just click on it and go to it. It will be in the pinned comments, in the description box, and it will also be if you hover over the video. Nicole says, can't wait for them to get the case together and put her away. Right. Okay, so let's just see a few more. Tourette's Majestic says, wow, you've been contacted by law enforcement? Yes, lots of times. It's very great. If you are on Patreon, that was so nice when Kevin Clark from Colorado, Timeline King in the Gannon Stout case, contacted me. That was so nice. So yes, there's lots of encouraging emails that I get. Just keep doing what you do. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So thank you guys. Without you, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be talking to myself. So yes, look, I'm getting very hot now. I'm shining, you guys. So I'm going to go now. It's time to cool down. Yes. Okay. So thank you so much. Rochelle said, tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You're only a day away. Yep. Let me quickly make that stream public so that this stream will lead you to that one. Okay. Any questions while I do that? You know what we're doing tomorrow, right? Okay. And we're going to hit a new milestone again today. So if you haven't subscribed yet, now's your chance to do so. If you want to see that milestone right now. Okay. So I've made that stream public. Here it is. This is where this is tomorrow's stream. I'm putting it in chat. And the stream, if you watch the outro, will lead you to that one either way. All right. Right now we have 162,982 Grizzlies in the house. Thank you so much all for subscribing. We are a growing, passionate, determined community. So thank you so much. All right, everyone. Thank you. I will read all your comments as I go. Time for the outro time. Okay, bye, everyone.
A voice said, "Don't go. Don't go."
Sorry, that was my members only outro. I'm going to play the normal one now. Okay, bye.
A voice said,